the development of full artificial intelligence would spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0,
self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio.
Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. And hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? It is Saturday. We got bumped by Christmas. Christmas is Friday. Show night is Saturday this week. I hope everybody had a fantastic holiday. Whether you celebrate or not, I hope everybody was warm and not hungry. And hopefully had some cold beer to drink. Boy, I tell you what, sometimes it's all about the little things, isn't it? Well, this show is not. This show is about the big things. This show is about aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal. This show is about all the things we're not allowed to talk about. This show is about the 24-hour news cycle. This show is about the government. This show is about academia. This show is about the technocracy and how the algorithms seek to censor the words we say and the thoughts we think on a daily basis. That's what this show is about. And none of those things are small things. Those are all very, very large things. And that's why we do this show. That's why we do it live. And did I mention this show is live? Did I mention the show is live? If you want to be part of the show tonight, we do the show live. All right, let me explain. We've always done the show live because we want to include you. Transparency is a beautiful thing, all right? Meaning that I'm here sharing information, and we're sharing thoughts and bringing them all together. And like we've talked about in the past, the wisdom of the crowd, when you get enough people together that know enough about enough things, they're smarter than the experts, all right? And so as a result of that, we've always kind of had this as like an open live stream. And everybody's welcome on this radio show, on this live stream, on this hybrid radio broadcast that we do. And as a result of that, we have open lines. And the phone number to call if you want to be part of the show tonight is 702-957-1037. And that's a Las Vegas area code. One more time, that's 702-957-1037. And you can find the phone number and the Discord link on troubledminds.org. That's the official website. Now, what is Discord? Discord is a voice program and a voice and a chat client, basically. The youngsters are using it to play video games these days. We use it to do a radio show. So if you're international and you don't like that long distance 702 area code from Las Vegas, Discord is completely free. You can just go to troubledminds.org, click the Discord link, which is right on top, and it will allow you to join the show that way. And also join a community of a lot of very smart folks that share a lot of really great information. So please do that if you have not at troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link, and one more time, 702-957-1037, taking your calls the entire show. And sometimes we take calls the whole show, and that becomes the whole show. So if that's what it is, we're flexible, and that's what's up. So okay, so in recent weeks, the last couple weeks actually, we've changed the show. It used to be we'd do like a news segment first and talk about the current events, but that became so bloated and so many things that we could never really get to, and kind of taken away from the aliens, conspiracy, paranormal type stuff, that we cut that off, and it's its own show now. So if you guys haven't checked out the show, we stream on Twitch 5 days a week now, doing just conspiracy type news, and that just basically means that it's all about the things that they don't want to report, right? It's all about the things that the mainstream kind of dodges, because it's what they do. They just repetition, brainwashing, that whole bit. That's what they do. So we're again, this is not an answer show. This is a question show. So if you're looking for answers, you're in the wrong place. But if you're looking for good conversation and to maybe learn about some things that the mainstream will not teach you or even talk about, then you're definitely in the right place, because that's what we do here. And as a matter of fact, that's what we're going to do tonight. So, all right. So if you haven't checked out the new show, please do. It is on Twitch, and you can also find it on the YouTube page and troubledminds.org, the official website. Okay. So all of that said, blah, 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 right? Shut up, Michael Strange. Get to the aliens. All right. Well, we're not doing aliens tonight. We're going to do a little bit of weird conspiracy. Now, this is if anybody's been paying attention to what's going on, the past, let's say, 48 hours have been a little bit weird. We had an incident in Nashville, which we'll play some clips about this going forward here. But it kind of makes you wonder, like, what the hell is going on in this world? Like, just when you think that you've seen it all, right? Like 2020 came, and we're in the last week, got a final week to go. There's some really, really weird shit that went down in Nashville on Christmas Day of all time. So we're going to talk about that, and that's what's on deck tonight. And you may be surprised at some of the ways this may go. So hang tight. But what we're going to do before we get to that is we're going to do shout-outs. So we are streaming on. Actually, shit, I haven't even looked at Facebook yet. Are we streaming on Facebook? We are live streaming on. Yes, we are. Okay, sweet. We're live streaming on Facebook. We're streaming on YouTube. We're streaming on Periscope, and no longer Twitch. We peeled that off to monetize that. So if you want to actually help out the show, you can monetize on Twitch by clicking the subscribe button with Amazon Prime, all that, blah, blah. We'll tell you how to do it over there. And we're also streaming on DLive as well. So I believe that's still up and active. They haven't kicked us out of that yet. So, and the reason for that, the reason we stream live on all these things at the same time is because we always knew that at some point, somebody out there, some technocrat, some unelected asshole that runs the algorithms would get sick of hearing from us and boot us off of this platform or that platform or the other. So it's always why we had backups. It's why we have Discord as like a final fall behind, fall down, fall out, whatever it happens to be. So if anyway, blah blah, so on and so forth. Shut up, Michael Strange. Bring us the conspiracy. Okay, let's do shout outs first, and then we'll get to what's on deck tonight. And again, taking calls from you guys. So 702-957-1037, and let's do this. Let's go to let's start on YouTube tonight. What's up? We get who gets first on YouTube? Let's see. Let me see. Just one moment, please. All right, we have first on YouTube is Eli. What's up? Thanks for showing up tonight. We got Penny, the curious. Everybody follow the Curious Bunny on YouTube. Penny from the UK gets a close second. We got Bailey third. How you doing? Lizzie, thanks for being here tonight. We got Supervike. Hi, good troubled minds, folks. How are you? Good evening. Let's see. We got who else do we got? Good chat going on. Grumpy Granddad. What's up? Thanks for being here tonight. We've got who else? Let's see. Bailey did that. Okay. Good. Okay, we're good. All right, we're good there. Let's go to Facebook, which actually is the largest following for the show there. So let's go over to Facebook real fast and see who's there. Who goes there? Kurt, what's up? Kurt gets first on Facebook. How you doing? Thanks for showing up tonight. Yeah, what's up, Michael? What's up, Kurt? How are you? William from Singapore gets a close second. Look, we have people listening the world over, guys. The world over. We got Juan from Dallas, Texas. Thanks for listening. We got Steven. Greetings, Earthling. How are you? Thanks for being here tonight. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays, everybody. Let's see. Elizabeth, Merry, and ho, ho, ho. Yo, ho, yo, ho. Welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. What's up, Joe? How you doing? Joe from Florida. How you doing? Let's see. Tavish, start the show. What's up, Tavish? How you doing? You got one of them TikTok attention spans? We're about to start the show. It's okay. Settle in. Get your feet in some cozy slippers. And this show is a long form talk show, and we do it to include you. So yeah, let's start the show. Okay. What's up? We got Derek. Let's see. I said Joe or Armando. What's up? What's up from Palm Bay, Florida? Thanks for being here tonight. What else do we got? Who else? We got Tamron from South Africa. Thanks for being here. Hello. Valentino. What's up, everyone? Second time listening. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Now we got Ronald from Copperhead Hill, Tennessee, where the zip code is EIEIO. Okay, I didn't know that. You learn something new every day. What's up, Tony? Haven't heard in a while. Welcome back to the show. And did I mention we do this live? 702-957-1037. You guys got comments, show feedback, you just want to say hi, whatever it is you want to just hang out and be part of the show. You know what to do. Do it. Get on the show. All right, let's do it. Let's get to the show. Let's see. So what we're talking about tonight is, hold on, let me make sure everything's in line here. A lot of moving parts with all of this weird stuff happening. And okay, so we're good. All these things. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay, so now if many of you have not been paying attention, because of course there's a lot of things going on during Christmas time, right? So clearly we have family and we have holidays to attend to, and so, we all celebrate a little bit differently. However, something happened in Nashville on Christmas Day that I think we should talk about. Not only because it's one of those bizarre 2020 situation type things where you just like I said, when you just think 2020 couldn't get any more bizarre, we get something like this. All right, now this is reported by 7news.com.au. This is from the Australia. And odd that we're going to Australia first to report something here in the United States in Nashville. But let's read this. This is a pretty good article. Police baffled by mystery Christmas Day explosion in downtown Nashville. Now, did anybody hear about this? So it's one of those things where it's unfortunate, things explode, people are behind it. What kind of nefarious thing is actually at play here? What's really going on is the question, and why we're going to talk about this. And so if you haven't heard of this, hang tight because you may be surprised at some of the details. It's a little bit weird. Okay, it's a lot bit weird. Okay, but let's read some of this from the article, and I've got some audio clips to play as well. But okay, here we go. First, there were the gunshots that startled residents awake in a downtown Nashville community on Christmas morning. When people looked out their windows a little before dawn, they saw an old white motorhome parked on their street. Then the sound of a woman's voice started emanating from the recreational vehicle with a warning. There was a bomb that was going to go off in 15 minutes. When the RV exploded, it shattered windows and sent flaming pieces of debris through the air, damaging several buildings. All right, so that's here we go. The explosion remains a mystery, but Mayor John Cooper on Friday said the blast was caused by a deliberate bomb. 3 people were hospitalized and are in stable condition, officials said. The unusual warning that came from the RV likely saved lives. But serious injuries were also avoided due to the police officers who took the warning seriously and cleared the area. Okay, so we'll get into this in just a sec. All right, so think about it. Just before dawn, gunshots. You're like, what the hell? Like, let's start looking out the window, and there's an RV parked on the street. All right, the white RV, like we just said. Actually, let me link that article if you guys want to check it out. If you haven't seen this, a little bit weird, okay? And then not only is there an RV park there, there's actually a loudspeaker blaring on top of this RV with some sort of countdown, some sort of actual countdown to a bomb, right? Like actually right there in the damn, like you look out the window at dawn. This is crazy. This is crazy stuff, right? What's up? A couple more shout outs. We got Tony. Happy to be back. Thanks for being here. We got Benjamin from Virginia. Hello. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. Kurt says they say the Dominion office was in the AT&T building. I hadn't heard all that yet. So again, I'm taking your guys' calls on this as always. So if you want to be part of the show, you know what to do. I'll put up the number in just a sec. But okay. So this is the weird part. All right. This is the weird part. So now this thing goes down, right? And when I first heard this, I thought, okay, now there's something going on here because gunshots, right, were reported and police came out. And then there was this RV with this mystery, whatever was happening with this, okay, the mystery loudspeaker. And I'll play some of that in a second. They actually have some surveillance footage that caught what the loudspeaker was saying just before this thing blew up. But it was some sort of a countdown to the explosion, right? So the first thing I thought when I heard this, was probably around Christmas mid-morning here, right, in Vegas. So they're earlier than us. So I was just like, this is a little bizarre. But the first thing I thought was, okay, so gunshots reported. They want to get officers down in that area, and then they want to blow this thing up. So the first thing I thought was, okay, this seemed like an attack on first responders, officers, or whatever, right? Like ambulance or paramedics, firefighters, whatever. Okay. But then it just kept getting more and more weird, right? Then it came out that it sounded like this. Now, this is I'll play this a few times as we go, but this is what it sounded like just before the explosion and what the actual motorhome, is that what it is? Like an RV. That's what it looks like right there on the screen. So the RV looked like this, okay? And again, this just happened in Nashville, Tennessee on Christmas Day. And out of this thing was coming this sound, and this was actually captured just before the explosion. Now listen, this is the loudspeaker booming from this bizarre RV, this old RV that was just parked after shots were fired or reported fired. Let's hear what this sounds like.
This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
Okay, so it turns out that this thing was actually parked outside of an AT&T building. All right, which are some implications there, which we'll talk about as we go. But okay, so then it seemed a little more strange, okay? Because so shots were fired, the cops come, and then they find this RV, and there's this loudspeaker with a countdown to a bomb, right? And if you didn't catch what it was saying there, it was like, if you can hear this, evacuate immediately. If you can hear this, evacuate the area, right? This is what was going on just before this sucker exploded. So it's like, whoa, what? Like, what the hell is it? So, okay. So first it's like, that was my first thought. Okay, they're trying to kill cops, trying to kill first responders, right? It was a trap. But then if you show up and there's like a countdown, like a loudspeaker countdown to a bomb, that's not how you kill people, right? That's how you warn people. So just right off the bat, there's some really bizarre stuff happening with this. And you got to wonder, right? Like, what exactly, who's behind this, right? And what is the motive here? Again, right? Like 2020, it just gets more and more weird when you think about this stuff. And like I said, at the end of the year, we think we've seen it all, haven't we? I don't know. This one might take the taco here. This is a little bit crazy. What's up, Anton Miles? I see you there on YouTube. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here tonight. Let's see. Let's go to chat here in Facebook. Let's see. What else do we got? Let's see. Benjamin says, the whole thing smells fishy. I mean, come on, really. With everything going on with Dominion, etc., and accusations, smells like a cover-up. Mike, I saw the video. Yeah, there's a video for this, too. I'll play the video in a little bit. But, it's an RV, and the thing's got some kind of loudspeaker blaring with a countdown to a bomb. And then it's as the countdown actually gets past zero, it starts saying, if you can hear this, evacuate the area. Right? I'm going to play it one more time. We'll play this as we go so you can hear it. Actually, too fast. But I'll spread it out. We'll continue to play this. But this is what happened in Nashville on Christmas morning, and they're still trying to figure out what the hell's going on here. So again, right, as a troubled mind, you have to kind of try and think of what's going on here, right? So not only is there a possible motive here that's maybe like a terror motive, right? Elizabeth, what's up, says terrorize people. That could be. Or what other things are at play here, especially since we're getting information from a media who is very good at, let's say, fibbing, bending the truth, and then also reported by the press conferences of the local police and the FBI and the rest of this. So anyway, super weird stuff. Did you guys hear about this? If you haven't heard about this, sit tight, because you're probably gonna be surprised again, like I said, about some of the implications here of what this might actually be or could be if you kind of stretch the legs of the conspiracy mind and try and find out what the heck's going on over here. Let's see, what else do we got? What's up, Marge? Thanks for being here tonight. Yes, I'm surprised I made it in fairly early. Well, you're just in time. I think this was a distraction from the ballot warehouse fire. Could be, right? I hadn't heard that. So again, this is why we do this together, because I haven't heard that. So somebody said in chat, Kurt said something with the Dominion voting systems. I don't know if this was real, right? I don't know if that's a real thing. If you guys could send me links on that, I'll happily put them up and we can talk about that. But most importantly, you guys know I love to include you in this. If you have takes on this and you have ideas, if you think this was maybe this Dominion voting thing, I haven't heard this yet. Hearing it for the first time right now. So if you want to fill me in on what this might be or your theories here, pick up the phone, dial this number. We'll get you on the show. You can talk to me. My name is Mike, and I'll be nice to you, I promise. And you can tell me what you think. 702-957-1037, and you can join the Discord as well, troubledminds.org. But okay, yeah, weird, right? Super weird. There's some bizarre stuff going on here with this Dominion voting. And yeah, let's see. Emin, what's up? Emin from the Philippines. Emin the Spook, thanks for being here. Says, Christmas morning, earthquake shakes Manila. It's a special year. There we go, right? We got something going on from both sides of the world. Really weird stuff on Christmas here. Kurt says the intent was not to kill anyone, clearly. It was to make a point. There's more. There's more, though. Joe says, who's calling in? Come on. It's okay. Benjamin says, we were at war with certain political entities that refused to let us know the truth, so they covered up. Obviously, other certain countries may be involved. A silent war. And we'll get to that. That crossed my mind, actually, because, okay, so it seems, so we have an explosion so far. That's what we know. As we continue to read some of this, I'll kind of clunk out the details and spread this out over the show. But, and again, look at some of the implications of what this might be. Could this be like foreign state type stuff, like foreign state terrorist type stuff? Or is this like homegrown, like that? You know, there's a lot here. But again, right, so if you're trying to hurt people, why are you going to have them show up and then have a loudspeaker with a countdown? Right? Warning people that there's going to be an explosion. It makes no sense. So it gave cops time. They took the threat seriously. It gave them time to actually go knock on doors and try and evacuate people. And it actually supposedly helped out. It supposedly worked out. And they actually were able to save some folks' lives, so they say, or at least from being injured or whatever, right? Marge says, let's see. I'm digging for that warehouse fire tweet. It disappeared on me. Okay, great. If you can, please send it over. Just drop it in the chat. Just drop it in the chat. I should be able to just pull it from there. Or on the Discord if you have not. Lizzie says, I saw that tweet too. Okay, I didn't see that. So again, right? This is information that's new to me. Marge says, I just saw another tweet suggesting that the RV wasn't actually the source. They suggested it was a DEW attack, which would be a directed energy weapon. So, okay, that type of stuff, again, I don't know. Like, I don't really have a take on that because I haven't seen a compelling video to suggest that, but that doesn't mean, right? You don't need video for things to be real. So now we got a phone call coming in. We'll take that in just a sec, but weird, right? There's some weird stuff going on here. Kurt says it triggers all kinds of deep-seated ties in a person's psyche, and I think that's a great way to put it, better than I could ever say. Armando What's Up says some leader of Israel came out saying aliens walk amongst us. Did anyone hear this? We did a whole couple shows on that, my man. We talked about that last week, maybe. Yeah, but definitely, right? Okay, let's go to this phone call. Everybody knows that listens to the show that the show doesn't actually start until our good friend Joe from Florida calls. So let's go to Joe from Florida. What's up, my man? You are on Troubled Minds with Mike. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Somebody call in, please, other than me.
Oh, we're good. We're good, bro.
Some great opinions, some great opinions and ideas. My mom, of all people, heard that there was a second vehicle. She didn't get all the details, but she said there was a second vehicle. I don't know if it was in the area or what, but there was something that was suspect. Thinking about that with the AT&T building, really, if you wanted to blow up a server or a Dominion, wouldn't you use something incendiary so there was no evidence? I mean, an explosion causes enough damage, but the servers and everything are probably still relatively intact. So I don't know if it would be that specific, although I'm sure it was meant to send a signal, but by whom and why would be the question. I'm trying to quickly address all these things, but foreign state actors could very well be China versus Russia. You've got one administration leaving. Curiously enough, a few weeks ago, it was leaked out that the Trump administration was not sharing information with national defense with the Biden administration. Kind of reminds me of when, who was it? When good old Clinton or whatever was leaving, and they told Bush, or they supposedly warned Bush about 9/11, and they decided not to heed the information, and then we had the towers happen. So just things that make you go, that repeats when you look at the long game. Could be domestic, very well. I feel it's domestic, but it could be funded by foreign state actors, whether they're Russian, Chinese, who knows? Okay. I will tell you this. Whoever did that measured the response. Imagine if that had been a power grid. Could just have been as easy. If they were that organized to have an RV with a timer and a loudspeaker, they could have very easily parked another RV by a power station and fucked everybody in the middle of winter. But they didn't.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I got a bunch of that. Yeah. So okay, but the weird part is, so did you hear about this yesterday, or is this something you're just kind of catching on to right now?
No, I heard about it. I heard about it yesterday. It like popped in, and that was the weird thing too. I don't know if it popped up in my feed or if it was on Yahoo News, because believe it or not, sometimes you find a couple of things in there. But I found it in the morning, and it basically took all day, because my mom just like listens to the news, but it took all day for her to hear it on mainstream media. I only saw a snippet of it, and I kind of, none of us want to gloat. I think everybody here listens to the show might tend to agree that we think something was going to happen. I know I said it. I know in past shows I've said it. I said, depending on who wins, you're going to see this. The only thing I got wrong was I kept thinking government police, but obviously somebody's mad at their cell phone service, and maybe they got a bad bill, and they blew up AT&T. Who fucking knows how crazy people are? The other thing that I'm kind of curious about is that recording. If that recording was generic, because if it was not generic, you can't tell me they can't voice trace that somehow.
Yeah, well,
the woman's voice is clearly heard on that recording.
But it was a countdown. It was like literally, so it was like a 15-minute countdown to an explosion. So, I mean, unless you're like ripping that off from what? Like, I don't even know where to get something like that, right? And I'm the guy that can rip audio clips. Like, I can find you all kinds of weird shit on the internet, but there's something like that. I guess maybe you go to 8chan for that. I have no idea.
Well, but then doesn't that make you wonder that whoever made that recording is probably protected?
Or something. Again, like the initial everything is just, it's this bizarro upside down event where funny Super Viking chat on YouTube said, my vote on this one is insurance fraud. which is absolutely hilarious, trying to get their money for that crappy old RV. But I mean, right? Who knows? Like, there's so much that doesn't really make sense, right? If you're trying to hurt people, then you don't have like a loudspeaker countdown, right? But if you shots fired previous to that, are those related? Who knows at this point? Was it like after first responders? Who knows? Like, again, there's so much here that's just bizarre as hell. And then we're going to get into what actually happened after the explosion. We'll talk about that in a sec here,
or were they really shots? Or maybe they weren't shots. Maybe they were like detonation caps, and they had a 15-minute timer. I don't know how that works, but maybe there was a fuse. 15 minutes. Who the hell knows? Who knows if? I mean, they're saying it was gunshots, but from where? Did they find shell casing? I mean, they're not going to find that shit now.
Yeah, no.
But who knows? But just remember And then it was funny this morning on the way in to work, NPR was talking about the Timothy McVeigh. And the break that they got in the case was that they found an axle from the vehicle that had a VIN number stamped on it. And they traced out Timothy McVeigh. So it just makes you wonder what's going to happen here, what's going to be covered up. I mean, there's no doubt some shit's going on.
Yeah,
we're all smelling it. We're all smelling something rotten in Denmark.
Yeah, something
just can't put a finger on it.
Extremely weird about this. And like you said, so this is the unfortunate part at this point. So, okay, so the good news is, if you guys hadn't heard of this, nobody actually died in this, except maybe whoever they think the perpetrator might be, which we'll get to in a little while here. But so there were no actual victims other than 3 injuries. They went to the hospital and everybody is going to recover. So aside from what they're calling a possible suicide bombing, which we'll get to in a little bit, is it just seems, again, so much just weirdness upside down. If there's a motive here, I think I like the innocuous ones. Like Superbike said, the insurance fraud, or like you said, maybe somebody's pissed off at AT&T because they had because they had a crappy bill or something, who knows?
We all wanted to be that. And then how about the body? How about if that body wasn't already dead?
Yeah.
Just to throw everybody off.
There you go. There's another one entirely, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's a ton of things that you could look into this, and it does make me scratch my head. And again, right, like very few things, like, it's like the world, the news cycle. If it bleeds, it leads, this whole bit, right? So, you hear about terrible things on the news all the time. But like things that are so like bizarrely complex, like as this, no, this is just weird, man. This is just weird.
It's just weird. It's almost like the deep state is overplaying their hand. You got COVID, you got all this shit, and it's totally weird, And then when I think about a body in there, I mean, if you were that organized to have a PA speaker, if you were that organized to tell everybody to fucking leave the area, okay? Wouldn't you be organized to have it set with a cell phone detonator? I mean, let's face it, okay? The people in the Middle East, okay? They could set off a roadside bomb with cell phones, right? They could have done that just as easy with an RV. Why kill yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
And then why kill yourself and not find the manifesto? Unless they have the manifesto, and they're not telling us, because everybody that becomes a martyr, and I don't mean that in a Middle Eastern way, I just mean anybody that fucking blows themselves up, always has a goddamn manifesto, So, I don't know. I'm thinking deep state. I'm thinking something very deep state. Again, maybe foreign actors involved. Time will tell or not, because I don't think we're going to get the truth. What I hope does not happen is that this becomes an incident in other parts of the country, where they take out an airline hub, where they shut down the power, where they take out a bridge. I mean, let's face it, I go out to Ybor City, and that Pulse shooting had happened in Orlando, and I was in Ybor, and there were 2 of those Mercedes Sprinter vans parked in front of, where I would go out to. And I asked the security guard, you look in those vans? And they didn't think about it. Nobody thinks about it. That RV supposedly was sitting there for 2 freaking days. Nobody thought about what was going on in that RV.
Well, it's not unusual for just, something, especially around Christmas time, for, what appears to be a strange vehicle parked on your block. You know what I mean? That's totally normal. Like visitors or whatever come and go. So, I mean, that in and of itself is nothing, but the other weirdness surrounding this, yeah, just crazy stuff. So given all the information we know at this point, what do you think? What's your, if you're a betting man, what's your money on?
That's a good question. I think it's domestic. I think they're trying to incite something. Let's see if a similar incident happens in the next 2 weeks before inauguration. Let's hope it doesn't. But let's just see what happens on New Year's. Let's see what happens on that weekend. Okay. Everybody always predicts a Friday. If something's going to happen, it's going to happen on a Friday. Because you got the weekend, and look, it happened on a Friday. Nobody was injured, thank God. Well organized again. Could be domestic, meaning just a terrorist domestic organization, or it could be a cover-up from a government faction. Who knows?
So is it? I kind of agree with you.
I know it's not a clear prediction. I know it's not a clear, but it's the most obvious because I don't think a bunch of Cubans are going to come over here and do that, or the Chinese directly. But follow the money.
But always follow the money. Always follow the money. Yeah. Again, there's some weird implications with this because of the AT&T building and some of the services that were knocked out. And again, right? So is it a suicide? Is it not? Is it like you said? I didn't even think of that possibility that maybe you put a body in there that's already dead and exploded it, make it look like it's a suicide by them. I mean, that's one way to get rid of evidence. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot here. Again, definitely, I think as bizarre as 2020 has been so far, this is this one kind of takes the taco, right? In weirdness, it's just like at this point, it seems bizarre all the way around.
It's absolutely. Anyway, I guess that's it. If anybody else calls in, that'd be great.
There you go. See,
I'm glad you're on because I was just looking up some UFO sightings in owls. And I was about to send you a message about owl, like an owl showing up after a UFO sighting. And I clicked on the Discord and I saw the show come on. So we're going to pop in for a while.
Nice.
And waste everybody's time. But
no,
anyway,
you're good. I appreciate the call, my man. That's Joe from Florida. And stay safe.
Christmas.
Yeah, you too, man. Happy New Year, all that good stuff. Thanks for the call.
Yes. Good night.
Thanks a lot. Good night. There you go. It's as easy as that, as simple as that. If you want to be part of the show, what is your take on this at this point? This weird, bizarre shooting that turned into an RV exploding in downtown Nashville, and again, like a lot here, a lot of really weird upside down and backward stuff that kind of brings it to the forefront of what we're talking about here because it's a head scratcher in many ways. Like again, right? Insurance fraud, maybe. That pissed off at their cell phone bill, maybe, right? But then you could wide range to foreign state actors or maybe a gain of function exercise to blow up a part of an AT&T building to see what kind of damage you could do easily and cheaply. You see what I'm saying? There's a ton of things here that are kind of worth thinking about. So there we go. If you want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Troubledminds.org is the official website. You can find both the phone number and the Discord link there. Lots of good chat coming in. I'll read that as we go as well, as much as we can. Let's see. William says it could be just another training simulation. And it could be, right? It definitely could be, according to what's going on here and what we're looking at. It's there's a lot here. What else do we got? Benjamin says, let's see. Tony says where I'm living now, there was an older guy about 43. He sent death threats to the hospital that wouldn't help him, and he made sandbags for inside his complex. Got Kevlar and chicken wire for the windows. The SWAT showed up, and it lasted 12 hours. They had a firefight for a long time, and after everything, they took the armored vehicle and smashed the walls. I didn't hear about all that. And eventually he shot himself. Yeah, I mean, and that actually, that's an interesting take on that because maybe it's maybe this is the lockdowns and the COVID and like people are desperate and maybe it's like a desperation move. It's like you kind of don't know how to handle something like this, and so the mental health of people is deteriorating over the course of the year as we go and go and go. Yep, there we go. We got a phone call coming in. We'll take this in a sec. But yeah, what's up, Robert? I see you there. What's up, Ash? Thanks for being here tonight. I see you. Ash, the reptilian. I see you, buddy. What else do we got? I heard a rumor that the voting machines were in the bombing. Yeah. So, okay, I'm hearing those rumors from you guys. I hadn't heard that myself. But I'll pull that up and we'll talk about that in a sec here. For right now, we're taking phone calls and kind of talking about the details of this from what we know. But if you want to be on the show, we got one coming in right now, which we're going to take, 702-957-1037. 1037. You can click the Discord, get on the show. We're talking about this weird bombing that happened in downtown Nashville, if you're just joining us. And what does this mean? And is this full-on tinfoil conspiracy, or is this just somebody disgruntled or mental health at its wit's end and an unfortunate suicide type event? I mean, there's a lot here. Again, it can range from the most innocuous to literally the most nefarious. It's one of those bizarre situations where a wide range of things could be happening. So we'll get to the details as we go, but let's go with this phone call now. And a long time no talk, my friend. This is Benjamin. How are you doing? Benjamin from Virginia.
I'm doing good. How was your Christmas, Mike?
Fantastic. Pretty good, man. Pretty good. Thanks for calling. I hope your Christmas was fantastic as well. And what are your thoughts on this bizarro weirdness?
I think it's a little fishy, dude. I mean, I don't know. I listened to the last caller when he called into the show, and, you know, to have a timer set on it, I have to say I don't believe that. I think somebody had their finger on the button because, my personal opinion about it is I saw all the videos, and I think it could have been like I believe we're in the silent war. If you think about it, if you look on BuzzFeed.com, the first time I read about it earlier, it popped up on my news feed on Facebook, which I follow that site anyway because it seems to be pretty a credible site. And it stated about Dominion supposedly being inside the AT&T building, one of their, subsidiary companies inside the AT&T building. And it kind of got me thinking, and then I started seeing videos about it, and the voice was a woman's voice, but it was more of like a military-grade style encrypted computer-generated voice. And I don't know, the whole thing sounds fishy, but what's really fishy about the whole thing is, I don't live that far from Nashville. I live about maybe almost 4 hours from Nashville, Tennessee, and our mall was on lockdown. There were local and federal authorities, along with, the bomb squad or whatever, was there at the mall, and they didn't say, what they were there about. All they said was 2 suspects were shot on scene, and they didn't say what the 2 suspects were, what they were suspected of doing. They didn't say. They just said 2 suspects were shot on scene. It was a shooting. But they didn't say that, what all was involved in it. But the whole mall was evacuated. So, maybe that could be tied into it. Or it may be that somebody's covering something up. I don't know. It could be a lot of things. But I also read something, too, that they found some human body parts at the scene, but it hasn't been confirmed yet. The way that the article stated was that there were no casualties, minimal injuries, but they did find some body parts at the scene of the explosion.
Yeah, so I've got that article up from CNN. So possible human remains found near Nashville explosion site, police chief says. And so that is what they're expecting is why they're calling it maybe a suicide bombing at this point, because they found what they suspect is human tissue, body parts, because again, right, like an explosion that goes off right on top of a body, you're going to have very little actual, easily identifiable human. So there's still, again, investigation still ongoing. I want to be clear, guys. We're kind of just kicking around ideas, speculating here. We don't have answers, but that's so I do have that one up where they talk about the possible human remains. So go ahead. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think the whole thing was a setup. I'm being honest with you, because when you start seeing the videos on it, and you listen to the chief of police when he acted like he was, to me, I kind of felt like he was putting on a front, like he knew something, but then again, he didn't want to tell the public, and so he had to put on an act. I think it was a cover-up. I mean, come on, dude. A suicide bomber, history has proven, Mike, even with the Oklahoma bombing, history has proven they're not going to give anybody no warnings whatsoever. I mean, that's just history. History has proven itself. why, if that was a suicide bomber, why would the suicide bomber warn people to evac out of the area? There's just no way, man. I just don't believe that. I cannot believe that. I'm not saying that it wasn't a suicide bomber, but, you know, throughout history, it has shown that they go without even one announcement to what they're even going to do. They just do it. Yeah. That's like somebody committing suicide. They don't tell nobody that they're going to do it. They just do it.
Right. Exactly.
So, and the body, on the other hand, the body parts, you know, I mean, if it was CNN reporting on it, come on now. We all know how CNN is anyway. Yeah. They're a CIA-funded organization anyway. So, you know, maybe the body was already deceased inside the RV or wherever it was during the time of the bombing. You know, maybe the whole thing's just a cover-up. My honest opinion about it, and I've stated it in chat, and I'll say it on open air. I think it's a cover-up. You know, I'm not political. Well, I mean, I'm political, but I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. Okay, I'm a constitutionalist. Okay. The way that I see it is, with all this stuff, it has already been proven that the election was a fraud, even though people are like, you know, well, it wasn't no fraud. It's what was, you know, he was voted in. No, he got voted in because votes were getting flipped. Okay. I mean, it was already proven, and people are still under this impression that all these citizens, these people are still under the impression that Biden, even though he had less votes, he won the election. Come on, man. Really? How stupid can people be?
Come on, man. That's the Biden line. Yeah, I don't know. Like, not trying to turn this into back into the election here, but it is bizarre that I'm hearing. You know, I hadn't heard this yet, so I'm hearing it from people in the chat. I'm hearing it, like, getting Twitter links. I'll pull some of these up and we'll look at these in a sec here. But people are saying maybe it had some links to that Dominion voting stuff, which actually those Dominion guys, by the way, have started just suing the balls off of everybody that's implying that they were fraudulent, of course, right? Because it's big business.
Well, let me tell you something about Dominion. Now, I did a little research. I want to say the Venezuelan president, he used, I believe, Chad, if I'm wrong, somebody please clarify, but I do believe that it was the guy in Venezuela used the same machines through Dominion, had it set up to where votes were flipped so he can remain in office. I may be wrong on that, but that's what I researched and that's what I come across in chat. If I'm wrong, please post it in chat. But my thing is, it's like this, okay? Even though Dominion has came out and stated, well, that's just accusations, that's heresy, that's hearsay. You know, we didn't flip no votes. We stand by our machines, okay? All right. Well, why is there thousands and thousands and thousands of eyewitness? Why is there thousands of pages of proof proving that Dominion ain't nothing but a fraud? And then all of a sudden, it's then came out that, you know, the votes did get flipped. Okay, that has been proven, but everybody's still denying it. All right. Now, all of a sudden, it's then came out also that there was a Dominion subsidiary with machines inside AT&T building, and now that explosion happened, and not even 4 hours, 5 hours away from where the explosion happened, Mike, there was a mall on lockdown, I guess, due to a bomb threat. 2 suspects, some people were shot or something, but they're not telling people what they were suspected of doing. You see what I'm saying? So come on, man. I mean,
come on, man.
The truth is there, you know.
Well,
yeah, I'm pulling a Joe Biden here. Come on, man. Really?
On, man. So I think, okay, so Bailey sent a link from the Wall Street Journal here that says Venezuela's guide to election theft. Americans have a legal path where a vote is disputed. Chavez denied all recourse. And so I haven't read this. I'm just seeing this for the first time. And it's paywalled a little bit, but still, like, these are kind of what's floating out there. And here's, again, sources, right? Sources are important, whether you believe the source or not. It's important to talk about these things and look at the possibilities. And that's what we do, right? Whereas the mainstream, well, they want to shut down possibilities. They want to make sure that, hey, no, We don't want anything to look shady because we're the ones controlling the narrative. We know this, right? This is all not new. But thank you, Bailey, for the link there, kind of backing up exactly what you were saying, Benjamin, about Venezuela and the rest of this stuff.
I got one more thing. I got one more thing to tell you on this bombing, though. Okay, before I get off, so you can keep the line free.
You got it, buddy. Go.
When the guy, the gentleman from Florida, when he said that a timer, there was no timer, bro. I just don't believe that. The reason I say that is because they whoever set that up gave the police and the people in that area enough time to evac out of that area before that bomb went off. Anybody that's been in the military, and I'm sure there's a few people in chat. I grew up in the military, bro. Both my parents was in the military, okay? I know a lot about, military life. And I'm sure there's some people in the military, vets or whatever, that was in the military that's in chat. That had to have been military-grade, generated, controlled, computer voice, and probably a military-grade bomb. If somebody's gonna, like I said, if you're a suicide bomber, you're gonna do it. You're not even gonna announce to anybody that you're gonna do it. Boom, the bomb goes off. You're dead. You kill hundreds of innocent people along with police officers, firefighters, etc. Okay, whoever set that bomb off had what's called the thumb switch. Okay, now this is what was told to me from a buddy of mine that's in the military. You could be 2 or 3 hours away and you could tap that button and that bomb go off. You see where I'm getting at with this?
Yeah.
That had to have been, that's why I said in chat, I'm pretty sure there may have been foreign entities that was involved in that also.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's literally like the most basic thing you can do now. You could do it with burner cell phones and things. I'm sure there's YouTube videos explaining how to do this. You can find this out on YouTube how to do these things. So I'm with you. There's a lot here that just seems bizarro. It's like we're living in a bizarro world. Like I said, kind of at the end of 2020, right? You'd expect alien invasion or whatever. No, we get this, and this is even more bizarre than an alien invasion in some ways, right?
True. And you know what's really funny about the show tonight? I was just sitting there and I had this weird feeling. I started thinking about Nashville and, about some of the stuff that went on in Nashville and then, what went on here in my city. And like I said, we're about 4.5 hours away from Nashville. That's really not a long drive if you think about it. So they would have, if whoever was shot had anything to do with that and they were shot at our mall and our mall was put on lockdown, obviously they had probably parked the RV or placed the bomb and got away from the area before anyway, I'm thinking out of the box. But anyway, I started thinking about all that and then I just happened to look on Facebook and you was live. Go figure that one, huh? Yeah,
right. Not only that, on the day that we're not usually live. So it's been a long time, my friend. Welcome back to the show. Let me know if you want to at some point get back to what happened with you and the rest of that. So you know where to find me, man. If you just send me a message on Facebook or whatever, and we'll get to that at some point. We can do.
I do, man. I do. I really do. Like I said, I still got the video and everything, and I have yet to release any of it. I'm still kind of being harassed, but that's another topic.
Okay. So do send me a direct message. We'll set it up, and if you want to talk about it again, I'm not twisting anybody's arm, but if you want to, you got a place here. Okay.
All righty, buddy. Hey, keep up the good fight, and I'll see you in chat.
I appreciate it, my man. Thanks for calling us, Benjamin from Virginia. Have a great night. Happy holidays, all that good stuff. Easy as that. See, you can dial the phone number and get on the show, 702-957-1037. We're talking about the Nashville explosion, right? What happened with this? A little bit bizarre. I'm going to play the audio again real fast, and then we have a video. Let's play the video. So this is actually from directly from hold on, let's see. This is from, I don't know who this is from, Channel 5 News in Nashville. So let's see exactly what this is all about. It's only a minute long. Let's just play this and see. You can see some of the damage here on the street from where the explosion happened, and you get some of the countdown from the video here. So let's play this.
And Phil, I believe we have that surveillance video queued up again. This is right on 2nd Avenue, and this time we have backed it up prior to the explosion, because it does catch the explosion, but you can hear the repeated recordings. And guys, I'm not sure if we have that. We all want to just be quiet and listen carefully to that recording, which police, like you said, Phil, confirming now was coming from the RV. Let's roll it. And then there is.
Okay, I'm going to cut off Lester Dolt, but you see, I linked this video if you guys want to check it out. It's clearly a countdown, or you actually can't hear the countdown in this particular clip, but it's actually telling people to evacuate the area. Right? If you can hear this message, evacuate the area. If you can hear this message, evacuate the area. There's there's an explosion. And then the damn thing blows up, right? Again, so weird. Is it actually happening? Like, is it a situation where we have a false flag? Timothy saying, "What's up?" Timothy says, "False flag." It's to keep the fear level up. I mean, well, there's some some implications about that AT&T building, and people are saying about this voting stuff. I have no idea. Yeah, Bailey says I don't see the RV in the video, and I think you're right. I think from that it was a particular. The way I understand it, there was a particular. Surveillance camera that didn't actually have a clear view of the RV, so it was just out of the frame there, but it was close enough to hear that countdown and the warning there. So, okay, we'll let's go to this phone call. We got more phone calls coming in. Again, if you guys want to be part of the show, you know what to do. This show is for you. This is our show together. This is not my show, so you can dial that phone number and get on the show just like so far so good. Everybody's been doing 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. You can find both the phone number and Discord at troubledminds.org. Let's go to this phone number. This phone call, I'm sorry. You are on a Troubled Minds with Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
Mike, how you doing? Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you. Jay from New York.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just, yeah, everybody's right on, man. Come on. You know, it doesn't work out that way, you know? The guy that just was on the phone was like, that was a suicide bomber, why would he call? Somebody called in and said that there were shots fired. That was released right at the very beginning of it. I live in the hood. When somebody calls in shots fired in the hood, and we have little things on our telephone poles that detect the difference between fireworks and gunshots. It goes across a scanner. No, those are fireworks. Go check it out. Send everybody. That's shots. So somebody calls in shots fired. All of the cops come there.
Well, like you said, they know. They've got AI that can determine.
Or district or whatever.
Yeah.
There's shots fired.
Yeah.
That's what got called in.
Exactly.
The very beginning of it, before it ever happened.
Yep.
So the cops went in there and they pulled people out of their ear. You know, here, go, I'm going to grab you by your ear and I'm going to drag you out of your house because there's an RV across the street that says the bomb's about to go off. 6 of them, I think.
Yeah.
So they drug them out of there, and the bomb went off.
A couple
of people to get up, or they're in the bathroom, or taking a shit, or whatever they were doing, and they lived through it. The only video in this day and age is the little bodega or whatever it was that got its windows blasted to hell. Bullshit. There's no way. Somebody's got a cell phone. Where's all that footage? There's no way. AT&T didn't have cameras.
Surveillance footage. Maybe actually.
In their revolving door, walking into AT&T, they didn't have a camera.
I'm starting to think Jeffrey Epstein hung out at the AT&T building just before he perished with no cameras.
But, it just so happened to go down in the 15 minutes that he hung himself with a newspaper blanket.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay. So what do you think? So what do you think is the bottom line here? What is this? What's going on? In your opinion, definitely there's some weird shit happening. The shots fired. The cops show up. There's a weird audio countdown of there's a bomb, like literally like an audio warning. I mean, weird shit. What do you think's happening here?
It was AT&T. That AT&T did lay off a bunch of people, so I could see the guy that was trying to make it till he was 67 or 68. So his overtime and his everything else like that was like, fuck you guys. I'm going to take my RV that I was going to drive out to Rapid City and go to Sturgis for the motorcycle rally for my 70th birthday and blow it all up right in front of your store. I could kind of see that happening. Maybe.
Yeah, just the mentally anguished person that kind of says this is the way I'm doing it, and
you were
that's
going
the way to do
on
it.
about how people are snapping because of the COVID and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
Yep. Exactly.
I got on early tonight and listened to you because my mom cut me off because she wanted to listen to your show today.
Nice, nice. Look at that. Look at that.
I'm trying to spread the word for you, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. And again, there's a lot to talk about, that nobody ever freaking talks about. But okay, sorry, go ahead.
The only stupid question is the one that's not asked.
That's true. That is true.
You know?
That is true. So, okay, so shots fired.
I mean, I can't see that. And then there's the Dominion shit floating around on Twitter and all that. Well, they had servers. I have to tell you, I bought a building probably been about 5 years back now and lost it because of code and all that crap. But the only people that wanted to come into our building and rent space off of it while we were remodeling and trying to get it up to code, the only thing that people wanted to do was use our ballroom, which was 1,800 square feet. Huge. And the only thing they wanted to do was put servers in there. And we didn't have enough power, and the city wouldn't give us the permit to upgrade our power because of the condition of the building.
Nice. More.
But they were willing to pay us $14.75 a square foot.
Holy shit!
Quick math for all those other guys out there for a building I paid $7,000 for.
Holy shit! And only if the city would play ball. It's a different story today. That's ridiculous.
It would. Well, Democrat-Republican kind of thing going on there, but we're trying to stay on the bombing thing, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But, yeah, that's fishy, just like the last guy and the guy before. I really like the guy before. I haven't met that second guy yet, but, I'm picking up what he's putting down.
Yeah, you know? He's an old-timer. He used to call it a long time ago. He just started calling back in. But yeah, okay, so
there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now.
Hell yeah.
Really, really crazy.
None more bizarre than this.
Okay, middle of a pandemic and all that. Come on. Really, hindsight is really 2020. January 1st. Did I lose you?
I'm right here. I'm listening to you. I'm following you. No, I'm right here. I'm trying to follow you. Go right ahead, sir.
I mean, I don't know, man. That's crazy, It
is. Okay, so given what we know about
the historical district?
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of like a downtown, like historic district. Like there's there's some actual damage there that's tragic because of, you get some of these cities with these beautiful downtowns and they just blew it up. So given all this, what we know so far, what do you think? What is your if you got to pick like a top two theories about what this Nashville explosion is about? What would you say? What's your second and your first idea here?
My second is all the crazy stuff that's coming up on. Dominion had a little spot for servers over at AT&T and stuff like that. That's a little bit too coincidental for me. And then the other part is the guy that sold the RV that they found the body parts for probably just was selling off because he was sick of the bullshit and wanted to buy a couple 2-3 acres out in the middle of nowhere and ride his Harley on sunny days.
Right. So you think the insurance fraud has some legs? That theory.
Absolutely, man. This place is decrepit. These buildings are old. We can't afford to maintain them. World Trade Centers. We can go back there a different day or today if you want. But those buildings were decrepit. They used to spray fire retardant asbestos on the I-beams. The amount of money that it would have cost to rehaul the World Trade Centers was peanuts compared to what they got.
Yeah, for sure.
They didn't want to have to deal with the regulations.
For sure. Okay, so here's what I haven't really talked about yet. Here's some bizarre parts of this, which I'll pull up the information here in a sec. But so it's been
I got to click on the Discord here.
Okay, no problem. Hop on in.
I got you in my pocket right now. I talk to you when I'm in my garage and having a couple of beers, to be honest with you.
Cheers, brother. Cheers. I got a couple myself
I
right
don't
now.
read the chats when I'm talking to you because I'm talking to you.
Yeah, no problem. Exactly. That's the way it should be. Okay, so let me ask you this. So I'm gonna put this up in a sec, but there's an additional weirdness that we haven't really touched on yet, and the explosion supposedly knocked out some sort of like a server in the AT&T building and knocked out cell phone coverage over like dozens or hundreds of miles. I'm not exactly sure on the exact amount of
we were disrupted here.
Okay, where was that? How far?
Christmas morning, cell phone service in Binghamton, New York, probably somewhere in the range of 400 miles away, maybe 300.
Okay, so hundreds of miles.
Was having a really hard time getting online with my parents for the FaceTime and stuff like that when the kids were opening up their presents and stuff like that. Yeah, it was hard. There was bad cell phone, and we have AT&T.
Okay, so it did.
It was bad cell phone all of Christmas Day.
We're talking knocked out a huge chunk of hundreds of miles of coverage. And so I was reading that. I wasn't exactly sure who to believe, right? Because all the reporting's all over the place. But so that's the weird part, right?
They took out a server bank, dude. I don't know how much you know about servers and stuff like that, but like when you're playing your video game, your text messages and stuff like that, that doesn't go directly to that other person's phone. That goes to a server, and then it goes to that person's phone. Or it might go to that server, and then another server, and another server, and then that person's phone, depending on how far away they are. 5G. But anyway, if you take out a server bank in a place that's transferring all the things, all the other servers are going to have to compensate for it. Those little yellowy thingies in the map all the way out to Los Angeles, where the big yellow red blob was right here, but then you saw those little hazes of yellow in Texas and Oklahoma, some in Nevada, little swath down through California. It disrupted all that because all that's... I've delivered generators to places like that were absolutely blow your mind away just so they had their own power when something happened. That's how prepared those guys are. You blew up their building. That's great.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You want to do something fucked up?
That's the way to do it.
Think about what that's going to do to banking on Monday morning.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just the beginning. That's literally just the beginning. I think, and so that's kind of where I'm headed with this show.
A couple, 2-3 places, and then you start taking out EBT cards for people that are going on food stamps, and the whole bullshit with the $600 and everything else like that. But back on topic.
Yeah.
That stuff starts going down. People are going to flip the fuck out after.
Oh, yeah.
What is it, 9 months, 10 months, 237 days, Uncle Andy told us today? I mean, don't go out of your... Now they want you to stay in your house?
No, bro. No.
Spread it to your neighbors?
I'm sorry, Jay, you're wrong. Jay, you're wrong. Jay, you're wrong. This is all this is about is 2 weeks so we can flatten the curve. Would you please relax? You're spreading misinformation.
I missed it. Exactly. I'm still waiting to walk over to the Belmar and have a Guinness for St. Patty's Day.
Which in some places you still can't do. You still can't do. Yeah, no, terrible.
Well, that's one of the things that a lot of my old friends, I'm old. I'm 48 years old. So
oh, my God.
I have a lot of old friends that
you oldie.
We meet once, twice a year. We all go to the Belmar on the same day, and we have drinks and stuff like that. You know, the old crew from back when we were all drinking like fish and stuff, you know?
Yeah, oh, yeah. We're too old to do that shit anymore.
St. Patty's Day is one of those days, and the day before Thanksgiving is the other day.
Yeah, right on.
We go there at like noon.
So you're
day drunk then.
You're yeah, hell yeah. Well, every once in a while, day drinking's okay. So you got
twice a year's not bad.
Yeah, totally. So your whole year was screwed. So yeah, welcome to the club, right? Okay, so we got to keep on moving here. So final thoughts while we got you on the phone.
Just let's everybody help out your neighbor, help out your family. Try to keep your life as simple as you can get it. And this stuff might fly just right all over our heads. And the big people will get in trouble, and the people with a lot of money will be in trouble. We'll be like, haha, we never had that shit anyway. So, and we'll be just fine.
Yeah, we'll be just fine. There you go. Take care of each other. That's a fantastic message. I'm with you, my man. Jay from New York, thank you for the call. I hope the family is well. Hope you're well. And we'll talk to you soon, okay?
All right. Love you guys.
Thanks a lot, man. You too. Back at you. Jay from New York. There you go. He's actually a new caller. He just started calling in. He's calling every show now. I appreciate that, man. It makes this a ton easier because, right, I've got a bunch of stuff lined up. I got some audio clips to play. I'm prepared to go myself the whole damn time. But when you guys call in and have takes on this stuff and want to talk about it and are curiously interested in what's happening in the world, I tell you what, it becomes a conversation, doesn't it? So definitely good stuff. Definitely thank you so much for the calls so far. Very good things happening tonight, and I appreciate it quite a lot. If you want to be part of the show, it's simple as that. You dial that phone number, 702-957-1037. One more time, 702-957-1037. If you want the phone number, go to troubledminds.org, and you can also click the Discord link. That's the official website as the phone number, the Discord link, the whole deal, and et cetera. So what's up, Alan? What's up, Russian Bot 1234? It's got some people showing up. GameVet02. Hey, my dang Bluetooth died. Stupid headset. What's up, buddy? We got let's see. We got lots of folks here. Lots of folks talking about this stuff. So if you're just joining us, we're talking about what happened in Nashville on Christmas Day with the bizarre countdown. Let's play that audio clip just to kind of bridge the segue here for folks that might be showing up and don't really know what's up. But there was reported shots fired early in the morning in Nashville in their historical district down by an AT&T building. Okay, shots fired. Police show up. They arrive, and there's an actual white RV. All right, there you go. Looks just like that was parked just outside of the AT&T building, and it was playing a loudspeaker. That was the loudspeaker woke up and said, you guys, anybody listen to Clyde Lewis? In his intro, it says, the loudspeaker woke up and said, ground zero. The loudspeaker woke up and said, ground zero. And it's almost like that's bizarre, right? Like the loudspeaker woke up and said, ground zero, and that's an explosion, right? Anyway, so there's a loudspeaker playing on the top of this RV with a countdown, a 15-minute countdown when the cops showed up of an explosive device that was about to go off. Okay, then all right, they hear this just before the explosion. bit terrifying, though. A little bit terrifying. All right, now let's go to the press conference and what the actual chief of police had to say. It's the individual you see here right in the article. I've clipped up a bunch of audio from some different things here. So let's listen to what he actually had to say regarding the incident.
Chief John Drake.
Thank you, Don. Good afternoon. This morning, around 5:30 a.m., officers responded to a call for shots fired in the downtown area, specifically 2nd and near Commerce. As officers responded, they encountered an RV that had a recording saying that a potential bomb would detonate within 15 minutes. Officers, upon hearing that, decided to evacuate the buildings nearby. So they began knocking on doors, making announcements, having emergency communications, communicate with everyone to get people safe. Shortly after that, the RV exploded. We had one officer that was knocked to the ground. Another officer is fine. Currently, what we have going on now is we have K9 dogs. All of them are out, partnering with Tennessee Highway Patrol, our federal partners, and we're sweeping the downtown area just as a precaution to make sure that everyone is safe and that, any service that needed, we can provide that. And so with that said, we don't feel there's any concern in the downtown area of anything else right now, but we are doing it as a precaution just to search with our bomb dogs. At this time, I'll turn it over to Attorney Don Cochran.
Yeah, so that was the police chief for the Nashville PD, and funny comment here. Kurt wants to know, did he have the FBI goon looking over his shoulder too, like in Vegas? And you were correct, he did. So they had the FBI. He had a line of guys. They had the ATF there, the DEA, I want to say, which doesn't make sense. They had probably the CIA. Yeah. So that was his official statement this morning, or kind of the afternoon on Christmas, actually. They're talking about the bomb squad and the dogs, and they're trying to make sure everything's fine. All right. So with all of that said, again, we're talking about the bombing in downtown Nashville. All right. Just weird stuff here. And what this means, I don't know. Again, we don't know. I don't really know. Let's see. What do we got? I got people sharing links and stuff. I'm trying to catch up. Lots of links coming in, guys. Lots of. I'm trying to pull them up and on the fly here. So, okay. Anyway, if you guys want to be on the show, I want to hear what you think about this, because again, right? I'm one dude. I can only think about so much by myself. I'm one brain. I'm one person, and trying to do the best I can. But one person is only one person. So with you guys together, we make up quite a bit more than that. So great calls so far tonight. If anybody else wants to be on the show, you know what to do. We're doing this, 702-957-1037. TroubleMinds.org. You can find the phone number and the Discord link there. Let's keep going. All right, so now the weird part, now I want to point this out. Now, I found this on Snopes, of all bizarre places, right, is that, okay, so the downtown communications were knocked offline. And so like Jay said there, they have AT&T, and they had actually outages Christmas morning when they were trying to FaceTime with the family and the rest of this stuff. So this is a thing. This actually happened, right? So now this is weird. Downtown. This is from Snopes, and not their fact check. This is from their AP News reporting, right? So yeah. So it's by the Associated Press. The Federal Aviation Administration temporarily halted flights out of Nashville International Airport because telecommunications issues associated with the explosion, right? So we're talking about taking flights out of the air because, think about it. The bizarre part here, to me, one of the extra special bizarre parts, is that they knocked out this huge telecommunications network, okay? Now, that doesn't seem to be accidental, does it? Like, if you're going to just kind of roll up a random RV with a bomb in it, like you could expect to do much worse than knocking out, like, cell phone coverage for half the country, right? I mean, yeah. So anyway, let's read a little bit of this. Nashville, Tennessee. A recreational vehicle parked in the deserted streets of downtown Nashville exploded early Christmas morning, causing widespread communications outages that took down police emergency systems. Oh, look at that. Took down police emergency systems. I didn't know that. And grounded holiday travel at the city's airport. Authorities said they believed the blast was intentional. Police were responding to reported shots fired Friday when they encountered the RV. We already read all that. Quote, it looks like a bomb went off on 2nd Avenue, Nashville Mayor John Cooper said after touring the site. Cooper issued a statement of emergency and a curfew for the area. Police did not immediately indicate a possible motive or the target. Human remains were found in the vicinity of the explosion, 2 law enforcement officials told the Associated Press. It was unclear how the remains were related to the explosion or whether they might belong to the person believed to be responsible or a victim. The officials could not discuss an ongoing investigation publicly and spoke to the AP on condition of anonymity, as they typically do, right? Like leaks are cool unless you're Julian Assange, and then it's not cool. Right? Hashtag journalism. Hashtag journalism. Okay, so anyway, you get the idea, right? There's a lot here. There's a lot going on. So it almost seems to me the thing that actually caused the most damage was to the that particular the servers in the AT&T building, right? That took down the communications and knocked out police emergency services and grounded flights in Nashville. So think about that. This is just a tiny little thing, right? And I say that because I wasn't there. It probably would have scared the piss out of me if I was on the same block. But right, considering that, like you can probably run this into a if you want to do worse than this, is my point. You could do worse than this, and I'm not encouraging anybody. Don't do any of this. Okay, this is terrible. Don't do this. It's not the way. All right, and everybody knows that listen to this show. That's not what we're about. But okay, now here we go. This is from the Daily Mail. All right, let's do just a little bit of this, and we'll keep on moving here. From the Daily Mail is this: FAA shuts down airspace over Nashville after bombing, and military warns the U.S. government will use deadly force against any aircraft that enters as FBI hunts attacker. Now, think about that. Now, is that the case? Is this just more tabloid work from the Daily Mail, or is this actually from a source? Crazy stuff here, right? Crazy stuff here. Let's read just a little bit of this. The Federal Aviation Administration, the FAA, has designated the airspace around the area of Friday's bombing in downtown Nashville as a national defense airspace. All right, you know what that means? That's like no-fly zone, period. Threatening deadly force to any aircraft that poses as a possible security threat. The FAA issued an alert on Friday night stating that an area of 1 nautical mile would be zoned off along 2nd Avenue Street where the explosion took place. Pilots who do not adhere to the following procedures may be intercepted, detained, and interviewed by law enforcement and security personnel, the alert reads. And so what does that tell you, right? To me, that says that they might be expecting like a follow-up, right? Kind of like the 9/11 thing or what's going on here, and they're trying to keep people away from this thing. So who knows? Who knows what's really happening? The article continues. In addition to the penalties from the FAA, the U.S. government may pursue criminal charges or deadly force against the airborne aircraft if it is determined that the aircraft poses an imminent security threat. The restrictions are valid until 4:45 p.m. on December 30th. So for the rest of the week, this is a no-fly zone. 1 nautical mile, which is just a circular mile as the crow flies, right? That's really all that is. Officers have been called to the scene. Okay, we did all that, blah, blah. Okay, so then we have this individual that ends up with the now they're calling it a suicide bombing, possibly. All right, and again, reported by CNN. Let's read just a little bit of this on the human remains found, and then we'll keep on talking about this. So we're talking about, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the Nashville bombing, Christmas morning, whatever the hell happened with this. There's an unbelievable amount of weirdness with this because first you get the reported shots fired. Cops show up. There's an RV there that has the audio actually playing with a countdown, like a loudspeaker audio countdown to a bomb. All right. So again, does that seem like they're trying to hurt people? I don't know. It seems like they want people to get away, right? Is it like the ultimate troll where you're like, okay, if we put the loudspeaker that says there's a bomb, they'll never believe it. And so they'll get blown up, right? Or who the hell knows? Who the hell does this kind of stuff? I don't know. We're still trying to figure this out here from the details we've got. Lots of stuff coming in from you guys, links and stuff that we'll try and get to. But as always, I want to hear from you. If you guys have takes on this, get on Discord, call in. Let's hear what you think is going on here. We've heard the Dominion voting thing. My take is that the most damage done was with the actual telecommunications that were taken out. Somebody said there was a printing press there that supposedly they were printing illegal ballots. I don't know why. Literally, the thing that pisses me off the most about Twitter and some of these rumors that float around like that, and I'm not saying they're not true. I'm saying that early on we're speculating just like they are. So I'm not shitting on that. But I am saying that it's crazy how everything that happens has to be turned back to politics, right? Everything is like, really? There's other shit that happens in the world besides politics. So my mind doesn't always go there instantly, like, oh, it was the Proud Boys. It was the Proud Boys. It was Antifa. No, if there's maybe reasons, maybe. Yeah. What's up, Scully? Thanks for being here tonight. Says, could they have known something was going to be in the sky over Nashville at that time? That's a good question. You would expect, right? Jeffrey, what's up? Says, someone showed a first explosion before the big one. Is there any information about that? Not that I've seen. Again, like I said, I've only seen probably what you guys have seen, and maybe less than that. I've only seen what's basically allowed on YouTube. I didn't go to like Live Leak or any of that stuff. I don't know if there's any information out there. If there was, we couldn't play it here because they'd take us down, of course. But yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to talk about, a lot to think about. Joe says, now this is the part that scares me, and I'm going to get to this in a sec. Joe says it was a test for something larger scale, and that's called a gain of function exercise, right? And so if you're like, let's say you're a foreign state actor, and you're like, okay, let's see if this size bomb placed this close to a particular building will do this much damage, right, to a telecommunications network. And so they got a real life sample here of exactly that type of thing, right? So it's crazy. This is crazy. Robert says, unreal. You can't make all this up. It's going to be a great movie. Well, or a really bad one. Yeah, it's crazy. This is crazy stuff. Let's see. Joe says something will happen when the Biden admin takes over to his term. Doesn't matter who is the president. Their term is always marred. Oh, to mar the term. Gotcha. Yeah. Jay, what's up? Jay Binghamton says Manchurian candidate. Alan says, what's up with the old channel on YouTube? Hey, Alan, the old channel on YouTube, we are currently restricted from live streaming. That's what's up. That's what's up. They took us down because some old Bigfoot video. Because we'll be back. Oddly enough, the timing is we'll be back streaming on that channel January 21st, which I believe is the first day of the Joe Biden era, which is hilarious. What's up, Alex? I see you on Facebook. Thanks for showing up. Let's see. So we will go back to that other channel at some point. This is the backup channel. So if they ban us from this channel, then we could always make a new one. So there you go. Bailey says, anyone else feel like this is the beginning of something big? I feel like this is the beginning of something bizarre. And like Joe said, like maybe some gain of function type of situation, a test for something larger, right? So if it can be done as easily as this, and this is pretty easy to be able to knock out like an airport, right? And like police 911 communications to disrupt cell service hundreds of square miles, you're talking, that's pretty easy, right? It seems like a lot happened here for such a small little thing. And by small little thing, I mean explosion. Like I said, I wasn't there, so I can't call it. I'm not calling any explosion small. But anyway, okay, so we're about halfway through this. This is the deal, guys. We're still talking about this. We're going to keep talking about this. There's more. I've got more on this and more on exactly what Joe was talking about. This is maybe some sort of a test for something larger possibly, which is the terrifying part to me. All right, so we'll talk about that and maybe about some EMPs and some other things as we go, but it depends on you guys. If you guys want to just keep calling and giving your takes, we're going to talk about that because we're stronger together. We put enough minds together. Like I said, we can conquer what's actually happening here. Robert says, what's up, Robert? Thanks for being here. Says, perhaps the foundations are being laid over the next couple of weeks to justify martial law and the suspension of Congress in favor of total White House control. There you go. Right? There you go. You want to take it the other way? There you go. Who knows? Let's see. Benjamin says, what if the video is pre-recorded? Has anyone thought about it? Yeah. No. Nope. Not yet. Not yet. The crazy stuff. Okay, let's see. Johnson says the UK ain't even reported on this, or not what I've seen. Yeah. So the weird part is, again, so explosions happen every day all over the world, right? The suicide bombings happen every day all over the world, right? So in and of itself, like one here, one there, it's tragic, it's terrible, all that stuff. You know, I'm not going to try and like smooth that over as something cool. It's terrible. But the reason why we don't talk about those things is because they're kind of common. They're pretty easy to identify as like a suicide bombing with a political motive. And you can even usually pick out the culprit within, 12 or 24 hours of the incident happening, okay? Who was behind it. But in this case, this seems like completely the opposite of all of that. It's unbelievably weird. So that's why we're talking about this one. So anyway, as we continue here, we're going to take just a quick couple minute breaks. 2-minute break to go hit the restroom. You guys do what you got to do. Fill up your drink. Grab some. I'm going to eat a little bit of this soup here. I've got some soup that's still getting cold. So just do what you got to do. Take a couple minutes off, and we'll be back to talk about this bombing going on. What the hell's happening in Nashville? Is this again some disgruntled employee, ex-employee? Is this somebody that's had it with this COVID business, and the mental health thing is caught up? Like, there's so many, again, innocuous things, all terrible, but innocuous, right? And standard, run of the mill, like you might expect, or foreign state actors and some other really weird shit. I'm hearing the directed energy weapons. I'm hearing the Dominion voting stuff. I'm hearing like a printing building burned to the ground very close by. So what kind of cover-ups could be in play here? I have no idea. Again, we probably don't have enough information to make that call or even be accurate. But right, what do you think is happening here? I think we'll keep an eye on as always. We'll keep an eye on the press as this clunks out, and we'll talk about it as we go in the next week or 2 weeks. But let's see. As of right now, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break. You guys do your thing, and we will be right back. You're listening to Troubled Minds with Michael Strange and you, of course, you. 2 minutes. Be right back. And sometimes we need a soundtrack that sounds like it comes out of a movie. So let's fade this out and let's get back to the topic at hand. You're listening to Troubled Minds, and we're talking about the Nashville bombing and whatever the hell's going on here. Right? There's a lot of weirdness with this. Again, shots fired, people show up, the cops show up, responding, and then there's some sort of like white kind of older RV parked on the street with a loudspeaker that's counting down to a bomb, right? Again, doesn't make sense. If you're trying to hurt people, you don't tell them there's a bomb. So, and then not only that, then we have some weirdness happening with when the bomb finally did go off, they were able to actually evacuate people because of the countdown, which we'll play the audio in a sec again to catch everybody up if you're just joining us. I know we have people coming and going kind of the whole time as we do this. But so then we have the RV that exploded is parked right next to an AT&T building, which when it exploded, it knocked out some servers in there, or the backbone of the server network, or whatever the hell happened. And then there was outages across the AT&T network, not just locally, and for 911 services in Nashville. They grounded the airport, right, because they didn't have the actual cell connections they needed to safely do whatever they need to do. And then also Jay from New York called in and said that he had outages Christmas morning. They have AT&T as far away as New York. He said 400 miles away. So what the hell is really going on here, right? Like, again, it could be as simple as a disgruntled ex-employee, or somebody that's mentally sick of COVID and the mental health business and the suicide thing, or who knows? Like, but again, that's the more innocuous type of type of explanations. Okay, but there are larger implications that could be at play here. And was this a test of some sort for something larger, right? So if you can do this with so few resources, right, a crappy old RV, and presumably a probably easily made bomb, because, well, if you know how to do it, they are easily made and cheaply. But I'm not encouraging you to do that. Please don't do that. Nobody do that. Nobody bomb anything. That's not what the show's about. But right, maybe this was a test for something larger. One-off or a test, who knows? Yeah, so, okay, anyway, 2-minute break. We're back. What's up, Ash? I see you there. That's what's up with the music. And, okay, so let's go. We got, here is the explosion just before this happened. Let's actually hear what CNN had to say, and then we'll play the actual explosion. Here we go. CNN reported on this Nashville thing. Action.
Nashville police just put out this image of the RV that exploded this morning. CNN security correspondent Josh Campbell is in Los Angeles. This is the first time we are getting that image from the Nashville police, Josh, of that RV. They said that it was parked at 1:22 a.m. What more are they saying?
Yeah, we are getting that indication of exactly what they are looking for. We know that authorities have been crowdsourcing with the public, trying to gather any tips, any information people might have. And this is important because now this type of information is something that someone who was perhaps in the downtown area of Nashville that maybe saw a vehicle or saw a driver, it's hard to really conceptualize, what they're talking about without the imagery. And here we see this is what authorities say was that vehicle that exploded. This looks as though just a standard Class C motorhome. It looks like a Ford Econoline van on the front there in the cab. But again, this is the vehicle that they think was parked and then later exploded. Of course, so many questions surrounding this incident. We know that just after 6 a.m., authorities arrived. They received a call of shots fired downtown, responding. And when they got there, what they were met with was something that was so bizarre, a voice on a recording saying that a bomb was going to go off in 15 minutes. Authorities quickly clearing that area, trying to get people out. And obviously, it did detonate, causing that mass destruction that you spoke about a minute earlier. But this is the image that the federal authorities, local authorities have put out. They want to know that if anyone saw this vehicle or has any tips, they want to hear from you. The FBI has set up a special website. They are also asking people to call 1-800-CALL-FBI if they have any information at all. That will be obviously an intensive part of this investigation, trying to determine the identity of this driver so they can locate this person. They don't yet know, at least we're hearing from our sources, they don't know whether this person perished inside that explosion or whether this person is at large, but they want to hear from the public with any tips, Bianna.
There you go. Want to hear from the public with any tips, because, of course, there's people out there that know something, right? So, okay, we've got some stuff on the actual suspect, which we'll get to in a sec here. Again, all of this is developing, right? This happened yesterday morning, Christmas morning. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas, all that stuff. Whether you celebrate or not, it's that time of year where hopefully we turn past the winter solstice. The days start to get a little bit longer and a little bit warmer each day as we go. So cross your fingers that 2020 doesn't get any worse. And as we turn into 2021, frequencies, prayers, vibrations, whatever it is you believe, just kind of spreading that out there. Hopefully that this turns into a better deal coming up. So, okay. So now, with all of this, we got some weirdness. Okay, so now here's that loudspeaker, playing the audio from the loudspeaker just before this thing exploded, right? It was actually had a countdown, a bomb countdown, and then once the countdown ended, it gave like even more time, saying, if you can hear this, evacuate the area. Here's what that sounded like just before the bomb went off.
This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. This area must be evacuated now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now.
If you can hear this message, evacuate now. If you can hear this message, evacuate now. The loudspeaker woke up and said, ground zero. Yeah, crazy, right? Like this is bizarre. A lot of weirdness going on with this. And again, I don't have answers here. I have questions just like most of us do. But the thing is, I want to hear from you. This is live. We do this live for you, to hear from you, because together we are stronger than just me. And please give me a call. I want to hear. We had several great calls tonight. I want to hear from you. 702-957-1037. We're going to talk about more of this as we go. You can join the Discord, and you can find both the phone number and the Discord link at troubledminds.org. And let's talk about more of this. Okay, so now let's see. We got it. So they said maybe a suspect. Let's see. What do we got? Let's see what we got here. Okay, so they shut down the airport. The FAA made it a no-fly zone around Nashville as this bomb exploded, or after, at least until the 30th of December. So there's a ongoing investigation, all the rest of this stuff. But check this out. Now there's also a person of interest. All right. Now this is a little bit weird. Let's look at this, and this is from the Sun, thesun.co.uk, which is, I'm told, worse than the Daily Mail. But here we go. Closing in. Nashville bomb, person of interest, named as FBI raid house he gave woman for free last month, where similar RV seen. All right, did you catch that? Let's read some of this. Nashville police have a person or persons of interest tied to the RV explosion on Christmas morning as the FBI raided a home in connection with the incident. It was also revealed on Saturday that the alleged person of interest, named in a report as Anthony Quinn Warner, reportedly signed the home raided by the FBI over to a woman for free last month. So he gave his house away a month ago. Okay? So there was a woman living there, and etc. So here we go. Lots of photographs. Let's read some of this. Warner was named as a person of interest, multiple sources told CBS News. Chief Justice and Homeland Security correspondent Jeff Pegways said on Saturday afternoon. Nashville police told the Sun on Saturday evening that they are unable to confirm the identity of a person of interest. Okay. And again, right? Again, Gucci Goo, investigation underway. We can't really confirm or deny, right? The Glomar response, if you're into the confirm or deny situation, that's what it's called, the Glomar response. Except they can't, right? But it's leaked. The guy's name is what's the guy's name? We already said it. Whatever the guy's name was. All right. So anyway, the person of interest, described as a 63-year-old white male, reportedly had an RV of a similar make and model as the one involved in the blast outside the AT&T building. CBS reports. On Saturday afternoon, FBI agents probed a home on Bakertown Road in Antioch, about 10 miles southeast of the bombing site, according to USA Today. Quote, information developed here in the course of the investigation led us to this address, FBI spokesman Daryl DeBusk said near the house. At this time, we are not releasing additional information, he said, adding that details will be released at the proper time. It was also revealed on Saturday that Warner gave away the home to a 29-year-old woman a month before the explosion. County records seen by the Daily Mail showed he signed away the home to a Lisa Swing for $0. Swing. Wing. It does not bear her signature, according to the outlet. Swing, who was living in Los Angeles, told the Daily Mail she knew nothing about the transfer. What? Okay, even more weird. Okay, so like the plot thickens, what the hell's actually going on? Had no idea about the transfer. He signed it over to this particular person, and she didn't even know that was the case. More and more weird, right? So I guess we're assuming at this point, and nobody's actually confirmed this. This is what's being reported today regarding the explosion in Nashville. That they're assuming, because they didn't find this individual at the home, that he was the human remains they found at the site. Okay, so there we go. Again, this is from the Sun and from the Daily Mail and some other dubious sources. So just linking this, and you guys can follow along if you prefer. But James wants to know, did he work for AT&T? And that's a hell of a question. Right? That would be the standard workplace violence thing, right? Definitely. Who knows? I don't know. Joe says close to retirement age. Maybe he is disgruntled. Elizabeth says Clyde Lewis, the loudspeaker, woke up and said ground zero. Yeah, exactly. It's so weird. Okay, a free house, says Alan. And exactly. William says it's always fishy when FBI are naming suspects. Yeah. Kurt says, Jesus, this has Vegas written all over it. It does, doesn't it? It seems a little bizarre, right? You got the old timer that's maybe like Joe said, close to retirement age, a little bit disgruntled with some things, and some whack shit goes down. But again, in Vegas, 500 plus people were shot and over 50, I think 58, 60 people died. So at least we didn't have that going on. But yeah, it definitely has some bizarre weirdness to this. So anyway, I'll read a little bit more of this, and it got me thinking about some other things and some of the larger implications of this, meaning that if this was some sort of test for like a larger something happening, what does that mean? And what could that mean for us? Yeah. We'll get to that in a sec. We got a phone call coming in. We'll take that. If you want to be on the show, you also can be on the show. Please do. My name is Michael Strange. This is Troubled Minds Radio. Call in and I'll be nice to you. We're talking about the Nashville explosion and all the bizarreness regarding this Christmas disaster. So there we go. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. Let's take this phone call. We got one call. We got multiple lines, guys. If you want to just cue this up and talk about this, let's do this. Jay from New York. What's up, buddy? Welcome back.
Your show keeps cutting out on me on my internet feed. I can't hear you.
Hey, man, that's because you're AT&T, right?
I don't know what it is, Spectrum or any of them.
Okay, yeah. Well, my internet is solid, so it's got to be your end. I promise. I promise you that, my man. What's going on? Additional thoughts? What do you got?
I'm just. You're talking about all this stuff about all these things that are coordinated down there. How do they do that? You know, one guy decided he was going to go buy a burner phone and a propane tank, load his RV up with fertilizer. I mean, come on.
Who said that?
I mean, does that guy work for AT&T? Does anybody know that? Is that
I don't know.
Information that's out there?
I don't know. I think that's part of the problem here is we don't have enough details at this point to really delve into that. But that would be convenient, wouldn't it? Let's say that information comes out that he was a disgruntled employee. That wraps it up, right?
Well, same thing that happened to the post office back in the 80s, you know? I mean, disgruntled guy, messed up all that stuff. Reagan was in office.
Yeah, I remember that.
A long time ago.
I mean, actually...
Really, I mean...
Yeah, it started the term going postal.
Man.
Going postal.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Pull the headphones out of my ear.
Oh, okay. All right. That's all right. You got me, and I'm a talk show host, so I can talk forever about nothing. Watch this. Yeah, okay, so if you guys want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. This is Jay from New York. All right, so we're going to keep on rolling here. So what are your additional thoughts? And let's finish this up, my man.
Well, I mean, how? I mean, you start looking at all the stuff they're throwing at us all the time. That girl, the couple, 2-3 days ago, right before Christmas from South Africa, they wouldn't let her talk. Okay, the clouds, the weather, the whatever. They won't let me listen to you. I mean, it just seems like all of it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to flatter ourselves that much because we don't. Our reach isn't great enough for them to give a shit at this point. I think eventually, like as this grows, somebody's going to get pissed off and try and take us down, right? But eventually. But again, right? So nobody's paying me to do this.
I think they're keeping us in our place, though.
Yeah, you know? Well, that's part of the.
You're only allowed to talk to like 50, 60,000 people at a time.
Yeah,
and
well,
one day was like
you're right.
45,000 people.
Yeah,
we went through the Twitch and the Twitter and I added them all up. There's probably like 45,000 people listening at one time, and then it started getting spotty. I was like, well, okay, so this guy wants to talk to 50,000 people that want to listen to him, so you want to, like, tone him down a notch? You know, he's overloaded on a server.
There's a term for that. You know what the term is?
You get it.
It's full spectrum.
There is a term for that?
Full spectrum control. through technocratic means.
Full spectrum control.
Full spectrum control. Exactly. There's a term for that. All right.
So that's how they took the comments out of the things that was coming out about Biden's son.
Everything.
We just won't let these people post that.
Yeah, everything, and that's a real thing. All right.
Really?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Oh my God, man! I got to stop pounding nails for a living and start looking at the internet.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Holy Christ! I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
I did say I was 48 years old, and I said I was a carpenter, so. You know,
that's okay. We
I
forgive
listen
you.
to things. I don't usually research things because I'm pounding nails.
I got you. I understand. All right, so second time calling. Quick, let's wrap this up. Final thoughts, and we're going to keep on moving with the show.
I don't know. You guys are doing great. You're letting people ask the questions and have a conversation about it. That's what's amazing about what you guys are doing. I don't know what the hell's going on here either. Let's ask a question.
Amen, brother. Amen, brother. We're going to keep asking
Get
questions.
people to talk about it.
There you go. All right, so we're going to keep asking questions. Anything else real quick?
Caller.
Final thought, my friend. We're going to keep on moving.
Same thing as always, man. Take care of your neighbors. Take care of your family. All this big bullshit that doesn't have anything to do with us might just blow right over our heads.
Hopefully.
The aliens come, throw your cell phone down on the ground and stomp it with your foot and run away.
Okay. All right. You do that. I'm going to do something else.
Food.
Good advice. Good advice. Jay from New York, thanks for the call. Appreciate it, my man. There you go. As simple as that. If you want to be part of the show, dial the phone number 702-957-1037. Join the Discord, troubleminds.org, and let's keep moving here. All right. So there's some other weirdness, right? Some good comments. Alan on YouTube says, let's see. Where is it? Alan said this. It was a great comment. I saw it. Let's see. Full spectrum dominance, actually. Yes, exactly. And let's see. I think the comment was, I think this is the start of a bigger play, something to that effect. Okay. Anyway, so there's more here. There's lots more here. You guys are sending me. I got somebody on Twitter that just said followed me and said follow me back. I'll create your logo for you. Yeah. Woo. Dear Lord. Okay, here we go. If you guys haven't seen it, this is the actual video of what happened. I'm going to play this and I'm going to just loop it and just play it so you guys can see what actually happened with the explosion, but not play the audio. But okay, so we're talking about the explosion in downtown Nashville on Christmas morning. Okay, and this is what the actual aftermath looks like. Supposedly, it was just an RV that had some sort of bomb on it, but again had a countdown, which again it seems odd, at least odd. But this is what the aftermath of the bomb looked like, and actually the video as the thing explodes. And I think, as Bailey pointed out, this particular shot of the actual surveillance cam here, you can't even see the RV in the shot. So where the explosion happens and comes from, I don't know. How big the bomb was, I don't know. A lot about this we do not know, do we? But that's why we're here talking about it. So let's keep watching this for just a sec here. There's your explosion. Had the countdown. Everybody evacuate. And then when the flash dissipates, you end up seeing this. There's car alarms going off. There's clearly like it's wrecked where it wasn't wrecked before. There's a bunch of madness. Madness, I say. There's the video. I'm going to link this if you guys want to check it out. But crazy, right? Crazy. Okay, so, all right, now it got me thinking, what if this is like what they call a gain of function exercise, right? Where it's like, all right, so let's, as a larger play, let's say that a larger play is in action here, all right? And so what that would mean is that this was just a test, right? This was just a simple test to see what kind of havoc they could wreak with very inexpensive resources, right? Very cheaply. And so imagine now that they know this is a possible thing, this can be recreated, right? It's a different, let's say you park in front of Verizon, you park in front of, right? Like this is the type of stuff that new wave terrorism is made of, okay? And it could come from anywhere, right? This could be state sponsored by who knows who. It could be actually. Here's another one. Let's pull this up. Speaking of these things, let's talk about this real fast. I saw this. This was actually recently, and this could be a situation like this, right? And I know everything has to go back to the neo-Nazis and the Nazis or whatever, but I'm going to link this and you guys can check this out. But this is weird. This is weird, right? So this is just reported a couple days ago by KKTV 11 News. And the headline reads this: Lights out. Neo-Nazi plot to disable power grid allegedly included attacking substation in Colorado. And this is just a few days ago.
Darn.
What's up?
I was just about to bring that up.
Were you?
Dang.
What's up, Ash? This is reported December
What's
23rd.
up, man? How you...
Hold on one sec. Wait. 1 sec. Reported December 23rd, 2020, and KKTV News. What's up, Ash? Ash the Reptilian from Mars. How you doing, buddy? How you doing tonight? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, man. A little nervous, but generally pretty good.
Nervous? For what?
It's the crescendo of 2020.
Oh, I see.
The final act.
The finale.
Yeah, exactly. I was actually just about to say that. I didn't want to interrupt you, and you said pop in whenever, so I just
pop in whenever.
Pop in for a little bit.
Totally welcome. Just wanted to finish and point out it was this was December 23rd when they reported this by CBS Denver. Lights out, neo-Nazi plot to disable power grid allegedly included attacking substation in Colorado. But go ahead. What are your thoughts on this? Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Ash. He co-hosts with us from time to time, and he's in the middle of moving. He usually lives on Mars. He's moving to Jupiter, I believe. So, yeah. How's the move going, my man?
Pretty good. Pretty much wrapped up today. So the nightmare is over, It's
nice.
Moving's always the worst.
It is the worst.
But, a lot of stuff going on. Honestly, I keep saying it. I'm sorry if I'm a broken record, but it honestly just feels like Game of Thrones. If you guys have ever watched Game of Thrones, what happens is that all the factions are kind of are kept in place in check for a long period of time, a long stretch, and then the king dies, right? And everyone wants claim to the throne, and so they're assassinating this person. They're making alliances, and I think whatever catalyst started this domino chain, it's Game of Thrones. It's at war, and I believe these kind of things, you as a like a regular citizen, you don't really see that world, right? That you don't see the value in exploding like a building. Like you're a person, you're going about your day, you love your family, you go to work. But like to a military, or a government, or even just like a conglomerate of corporations, blowing up a building could be essential for like keeping your whole group out of jail or keeping critical people. And when you're dealing with billions of dollars and all these resources, a bombing, that's
nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
That's nothing.
Like people are cheap, and the resources to make these types of bombs are cheap. And we don't even know what type of bomb it is. It doesn't even matter though. It's going to be cheap. Like short of like a nuclear bomb, it's going to be cheap. And this was not a nuclear bomb. So yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like look at the whole thing going on with Russia and the Novichok poisoning, and they're all about cheap, effective methods. And so who knows? I think
talking about that guy who poisoned himself, like in the courtroom?
No. The guy that they poisoned Putin's adversary on the plane through his underpants. That guy.
Yeah. That stuff happens all the time, guys. All the time. Like if you own a car from 2013 and later, your car has a chip in it, and it's supposedly the CIA can hijack your car and just make you floor it into it. You know what I mean? They just turn the gas all the way on, and you can't stop yourself. And supposedly that's a rumor I heard. And there's just so many people, so many celebrities or politicians that get into car crashes. It's super common.
Reportedly.
Yeah, I mean, supposedly, right?
Yeah.
I mean, well, the car crashes are common, but supposedly. So you can look through anything and call it, this is like a conspiracy theory YouTube channel, right? Or a podcast or whatever you want to call it, radio. And, it's easy to put a label on it, but it's literally like I think honestly, there's a war, and it boils to the surface, and they try, and both sides, all sides don't want us to wake up. Like they don't want us to fully wake up. They want to control us, right? Or keep us in check. But you see it bubble to the surface, and I think with the internet and the way people are interested in all this crazy last few years, I think people are able to start putting things together. And I mean, like 10 years ago, this bombing happened, people would be like, okay. But now, I mean, listen to all the people calling in. They're like, oh, well, I think it's this, I think it's that. That's really important. Like a population that's not easily duped. So I honestly think it's Game of Thrones, whether it's like good versus evil, globalists versus cabal. Globalism, gotta defeat the globalism. As Alex Jones says,
they're making the frogs gay. Human pig chimeras in China.
Suicide bombing now.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, and I would say that I think the catalyst was the Anthony Weiner laptop that had all this blackmail on it. I think that kept a lot of people in check, and when it was discovered, it kind of opened up a can of worms, and a lot of factions lost power, and it's been nuts ever since. And so, with the election coming in office, whatever side you're on, yes, we vote, but we vote someone in to control the most powerful military the world has ever seen, and supposedly that's our power, our ability to make that vote, right? That's insane. I mean, that's literally insane. And so I just think that's what it is. I think it's a Game of Thrones move. Supposedly, I heard that about the servers were there. I don't know. I can't confirm that, but that the flights were cut off in the area, and it also kind of blew the phone lines, right? And you mentioned all this, and I think you're right. It's kind of like a demo. The military's been putting out articles all for the last 2 years about they're worried about the infrastructure going under, and I wouldn't be surprised if at the root of this, or at some point, China's, just China money, China something, because we're kind of in a Cold War with there's an Axis and there's the Alliance, right? And I think we're at war right now. I think it's just you can't nuke each other, so it's an insurgency, and it's boiling to the surface, and they're trying not to panic everyone by telling everyone too much. But that's what I would say. I think we're at war, and who gets in office, who doesn't, all this is super important, critical. If China gets the right person in or not, that's literally trillions of dollars in number one global position over periods of time. So I think there's a lot at stake, and a lot of people don't really know, I guess, would kind of are keeping up with that stuff. So when it boils to the surface, what the hell is going on here? And I'm not saying I know either. I don't know what's going on. I might know 1% of what's going on, maybe if that, but just really nuts. I don't know. What do you think about that? Is that a hot take, or is that?
Definitely hot take. Definitely hot take. So, okay. With all of that said, again, this could mean something larger, or this explosion in what is it? Nashville could be again let's do the let's call it workplace violence, or right there's a couple ways to make this go away in the media super fast, and that's one of them, right? And you say, ex-employee pissed off, blah blah, whatever. He let the loudspeaker speak up and say ground zero because he didn't want to hurt anybody. He just wanted to give FU to the building he worked at, right? This would go way faster than you can say WTF, but it still doesn't actually really tie anything up, does it? I don't really think so. Right, so I think as a tinfoil hatter, conspiracy theorist type, right, somebody that likes to think outside the box, is that you have to be careful of what they're going to tell us next. All right, I think that's right. Probably kind of like somebody mentioned in the chat there. Did the police chief here have the FBI goon over his shoulder while he was giving the press conference? And yes, absolutely he did. So you wonder.
Oh yeah, the Vegas shooting.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the same thing, right?
Yeah,
that was awkward. So awkward. He's he's pausing to talk to the guy in the back.
Yeah, looking over his shoulder, making eye contact. Can I answer this? Can I not? It's really weird. Okay, let's go to this real fast. Just so we can just finish this thought on the KKTV thing in Colorado. Lights out. Neo-Nazi plot to disable power grid allegedly included attacking substation in Colorado. Let's just read just a little bit of this and then get your thought on this, Ash. El Paso County, Colorado. Xcel Energy has acknowledged to 11 news sister station CBS4 that it is aware of an alleged plot to disable the nation's power grid, which included a possible attack on an El Paso County substation. The FBI is investigating a neo-Nazi group that is believed to have been planning an attack on the United States power grid. The plot was being called Lights Out. One of the structures targeted that is mentioned in the details of the investigation is outside of Colorado Springs. It's called Midway and is operated by Xcel, Xcel. The information is contained in a search warrant affidavit that was accidentally unsealed in federal court in Wisconsin. The warrant is to seek information on his cell phone number from the telephone company's service provider. The affidavit details an alleged plot naming 3 people who have not been charged so far in the case. It was revealed by CBS 4 investigator Rick Salinger on Sunday, December 13th. The next day, the warrant was unsealed or resealed and no longer open to public viewing. It says the plot is to disable power stations in the southeastern United States and in El Paso County, Colorado. The affidavit cites an informant as claiming the target date to carry out the attack was to be for 2024, but sooner if Donald Trump was to lose the 2020 election. There you go. Neo-Nazis. They're always the best villains. I don't know. What do you think about this in particular? So, okay. So just a couple things that stand out in my mind just real fast. So first is that this is exactly the type of thing we were talking about, right? If this is a nod to something larger and it was a gain of function type thing for figuring out what happened in Nashville, if you could just put like a cheap bomb and a cheap RV next to a probably who knows how many millions of dollars are in that AT&T building and take out communications like they did, this is the same type of situation, right? Locking out an entire power grid with just a few people. So anyway, thoughts on this?
I mean, I feel like I want to know how big the KKK, the white supremacist faction is. Where are these people? I feel like it's like this like big boogeyman, and I'm not saying they don't exist, but I feel like, with our culture and our media, that's like, if you put a Nazi in a movie, then you could do every mean thing you want to the Nazis.
Punch
They're
him in
the
the
bad
face.
guys. They're evil. Yeah, it's such a one-dimensional, convenient bad guy, right? And so for them to I don't know. Maybe are they trying to like? If you were to, with everything going on, basically with all this stuff going on, what would make you think that these things are coincidences? When the logical, the thing that would make more sense is that they fit into this puzzle of craziness that's going on. I mean, COVID, lockdowns. I mean, most people are at the point. I talk to a lot of people, and they're like, "Why the hell are we in lockdowns? It doesn't even make sense anymore." These, I honestly just think we're at war. I really think, and so these are just cover-ups. They're just like, it's just propaganda to kind of like, oh, it was the Nazis. Oh, okay. Well, it was the Nazis. Hitler did it. So it can't be. Let's sweep it under the rug. And I know the FBI is like, in fact, a lot of the FBI is at ends with the current administration. So I mean, like I said, whatever side you're on, it's like kind of like a true thing. There's holdovers from like previous administrations, and they like hate him and hate his administration, and they're kind of like, so there's like a light civil war in our country along with all this stuff going on. So maybe it did happen. Maybe it's disgruntled. Maybe they're taking the chance to paint it as he's a Nazi, or maybe they're just like, there's a little piece of information of just jumping to a conclusion, like, oh yeah, he like was on 4chan, so he's clearly a Nazi. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so with all that said, let's take this again, and let's look at it a different way. Okay, and so it's weird, right? So fine, Nazis, whatever, neo-Nazis, whatever. Fine, I don't care. I just don't care. Like not. Basically, don't kill people. Don't kill people. Don't kill people. Right? Fine. But let's read this headline just one more time without that, because clearly the neo-Nazi is not really necessary unless you're trying to spin this somehow, politicize it, right? I mean, right. Sure, maybe, right? So let's read it one more time. Lights out. Plot to disable power grid, allegedly included attacking substation in Colorado. So just leave that part out. So, but see what's actually happening here. Instead of like the real actual problem, because if you can get a few people that are capable of taking out the entire power grid, all right, or at least trying, that's the bigger problem here, right? That's terrifying. But instead, right, the third word, the second term is neo-Nazi plot, right? Like this goes straight to neo-Nazi plot. But you see, right? So okay, so let's skip the Nazis. What is with this? Disable the power grid with a few people. you think that's even possible?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, especially since they've been literally the military has been looking at this for like the last 2-3 years. Yeah, it's like I feel like if you have enough information, things become really obvious. You know what I'm saying? Like that guy mentioned before previously, and I'll tiptoe around the subject, that the towers were in disarray and that they needed to come down like one way or another. And then another piece of information is there was like billions of dollar insurance filed on those buildings like 2 years prior to the event. Like if you get enough of those kind of pieces of information, you start to be like, I don't really trust this. So with this situation, it's like, pieces of information I've heard is that our infrastructure was pretty vulnerable, right? And we saw that, I don't know, like a year or two ago, we saw that like transistor, like remember that blue transistor was like popping off and getting really bright. Is it possible? Like, I don't know. I mean, how many places do they need to like take out to bring down the whole grid? So yeah, I mean, also, why would like white supremacists want to attack the power grid? Are they like racist against energy? Like, I don't understand. Like, if they're like white supremacists, isn't that going to affect like aren't white people the majority of the population? So like, what I don't understand. Like, why would they? Why would that be their thing?
Because it's a neo-Nazi group. It's a neo-Nazi group. Again, it's an easy bad guy, right? This goes back to 1984 Emmanuel Goldstein, right? It's why everything has to have a label. It's why literally if you have if somebody mentions David Duke anywhere, they're a Nazi, right? That's just the way it is. That's the way it goes. And like I said, it's interesting when you read that headline. Just cut that part out, right? Like it suddenly means an entirely other thing, right? People get all amped up about neo-Nazis, right? Like, okay, so if they have the names of these individuals, how many people have they killed? That's what I want to know. And if they have killed people as neo-Nazis, why aren't they in jail? Because that's where they should be, right? That's it. But literally, the whole headline is about, like it triggers people. And then you miss it. 3 people are planning to take down the entire grid. Like, what the hell? Yeah. This is crazy. So, okay, think about it. So if we have a couple people, like one Verizon building, one AT&T building, we got 3 people in Colorado trying to take down the grid, and then we got this and that and the other thing, and then I mean these things can be easily coordinated, right? For cheap. People are cheap. If you're a foreign state, if slinging money around,
this one dude can do it. Like, it's like if these guys can, a single person or 3 people can pull off something like this, then what can you actually pull off in a mass attack? So is our country that vulnerable and inept, or is it an easy thing to do and that anyone could do? Then why isn't it happening all the time? I guess that's my thing. It's like if that's the narrative, then why is it happening now? Is it because Trump lost? Like, really? Like that? But he didn't declare anything. He didn't like release a video. This is for all the whiteys out there. Screw this group, and then it doesn't make any sense. It's just like a label they slap on at the end. It's so stupid. It's like, I find anyway. I guess it's pretty obvious. It's hard to believe.
But it worked on you, right? Like, so we're literally talking about taking down the power grid with 3 people, and you start talking about Nazis. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying that like, haha, sucker. I'm just saying that this is how the population is being gaslighted, right? To me, the neo-Nazi was the least important thing in the entire article, because they were talking about 3 people bringing down the entire power grid for the whole freaking country. That's huge. That's an unbelievable. But right, like it's hard to get past the gaslighting. Like the second you try and discount neo-Nazi, then you are the Nazi. You see what I'm saying? It's like it literally takes the entire like whole thing out of its own context and turns it into something entirely different. It polarizes it. When this is like you said, if the power goes down, that's right. people of all colors will die because it's freezing outside. You know what I mean?
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just a tactic.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, so like to kind of go back to like, I guess the kind of Game of Thrones argument, I had a few things listed here. It was like, what's happened recently is like an election in turmoil, right? One side's claiming fraud. Both sides are seeking the most extreme legislative solutions, right, to get to winning their side. We had a cyber attack that was the Pearl Harbor of cyber attacks. It's basically like foreign entities had access to almost all large percentage of all systems in America
for over a year.
Like
over a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got that. You got this bomb, right, where the planes were disabled, and there was what was it? The cell service was interrupted. You had an attack on a U.S. embassy, right, by Iran or something like that out there. You had this white supremacist, right? You had the actual bombing that happened. I mean, it just honestly, it just more and more, it just seems really is Game of Thrones, and that these are moves and counter moves, and everyone's deploying their what the sociopaths would call assets, right? They're utilizing their things to try and get stuff done and trying to like deter the other side. And yeah, like I said, a lot of this stuff was been talked about before, through the grapevine. You hear like everyone should get water, right? Remember this? And it's some of this comes from the QAnon stuff, and I like to keep tabs on it, but I'm not gonna like, how it is. I keep tabs on it. There's some things that like end up coming true, and there's a lot of things that don't, right? So, but like that kind of stuff, there's a lot of different places that are saying like get water, get food, and we were kind of saying this before, and then kind of COVID happened, right? And it's almost like COVID's like prepping us for what's happening now. It's like there's not a lot of people on the streets. Isn't this crazy? Think about this. COVID happens, okay? Everyone's in their homes right now. Everyone has a gun because of the Antifa riot stuff, like the riots and just in general because of 2020.
Hey, some of us were packing long before that. Some of us were packing long before that.
I knew this gun store owner. He was supposed to retire, and he like is selling. He's like, shit, I can't retire because like I gotta sell all these guns. And I mean, he was selling like whatever, like old stuff, like old SKSs and just whatever. Fly. So I heard some guy behind me. He was like, "Yeah, I'll be back for the next 15." I was like, "Whoa, what the hell, 15?" And dude, everyone's got a gun. It's been insane. And so everyone's got guns. Everyone's at home. Everyone's like got stock toilet paper. You know what I mean? Is it like are we being like manipulated to prepare for like war? Is that kind of like what's going on? I don't know. Is it? But it just seems really crazy these days.
It got me. All right. So there's some other implications here. Now this is weird, right? So like we said. So we've talked about conspiracy on this show quite a bit. If you go back not too long ago, maybe a week or 10 days, couple weeks, we did a show where we talked about all the conspiracies that came true in 2020 that a year ago you never would have thought. You'd have been like, no effing way. Come on, Michael Stranger and Knucklehead. This shit is never coming true. Guess what? 2020 ushered in, because of COVID, a whole bunch of that shit. Go back and check out that show. You may be surprised. One of those was a cashless society, all right, which is happening. Remember, COVID happened, and then you went in your grocery stores, and they were like, well, we can't really take cash because we don't have change to give you because there's a nationwide coin shortage. Remember that? Well, yeah, it's still in effect. Now, look what happened as a result of this. This is crazy, all right? We said that the airplanes, the airport was actually grounded. They couldn't take off. They couldn't land airplanes. They were having problems there. This is nuts. Reported by WKRN. Cash only. Walmart says some stores affected by AT&T outage from Nashville explosion. All right. So now, look at the way this happens. So first, we end up in this cashless society. where everything is headed that way because we have a shortage of coins. If you don't have coins to make change, you can't take cash, period. All right? You just can't do it. It's not a feasible thing. Nobody's going to be like, keep the change all day, every day. It's not happening, okay? Here we go. Nashville, Tennessee. If you're going to Walmart, you may need to stop by the ATM first. A Walmart spokesperson tells News 2 that some Middle Tennessee stores are affected by the ongoing AT&T outage after an explosion of an RV occurred near a building owned by AT&T on Christmas morning in downtown Nashville. Quote, due to impact of an AT&T transformer in the area, some of our stores are experiencing temporary internet outages. We are actively working with local personnel to get our stores back online and apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Affected stores are abiding by a cash-only policy. It is unclear how many and what locations in the mid-state are affected at this time. How about that? Did you know that was happening? As we race further and faster to a cashless society, nobody carries it anymore, right? Who carries cash? In the chat, anybody out there, just type yes or no if you carry cash or do not. Yes or no. Do you carry cash or do you not? In this day and age, right? You can't even get change in many places still. And so as a result of that, cash only, because this one little RV that exploded next to an AT&T building, Walmarts, which of course are essential, we're told, where the mom and pop grocery store is not, we are told, Walmarts suddenly are taking cash only. When of course, you see the problem here. Like as things further and further progress, things are easier and easier to hit a particular node and cause serious problems, right? Really, really problems. Really big, large, ridiculous problems. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if you saw this, but this is part of it, right?
Now, does that mean that there's like 5 dudes in a room in business suits with like cigars and they're like overweight and they talk like this, you know, and they're like plotting everything and twirling their fingers? No, not necessarily. But like, I know that a lot of companies are really competitive. They read in between the lines for each other. So they like, you know, maybe they've wanted to go cashless forever, right? Obviously, we kind of know where they ultimately want to go. They just want chips in everyone. And yes, it's like there's a freedom loss to that, but for them, it's also more efficient. It's more productive. It's more profitable. So at the end of the day, is there 4 guys in a room plotting? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But it doesn't have to be that to kind of for the things to move forward. It just saw it could have just saw the excuse, right, and just took it, and then now that's it. Because I know during COVID, people were trying not to take change, and the cards also with the cards with your transactions, the IRS can record things easier, so the government can get their share much more efficiently. So it's kind of like the powers that be. A lot of times, a lot of these power, not like they. I'm not saying they. I'm not saying like there's 4 corporations and they run the world and whatever. I'm just saying like if you're a big efficient entity where you're the government or you're a corporation, cashless is you prefer it, right? So it's going to kind of naturally go there, and people don't like change. So you need some sort of problem, right? So you can suggest a solution, right? What's the saying? Problem, reaction, solution.
Problem,
right?
reaction, solution.
And
yes, sir.
Sometimes those things are on purpose, and sometimes they're not. And that's kind of just how it goes, you know.
Are you saying it's an accident? It's an accident that. Oops! Look, we took down all the Walmarts in the tri-state area. Oops. Sorry, if you don't have cash money, you can't buy your groceries. Yeah, I guess maybe accidents exist as well. All right, hold on. We're gonna continue talking about this. We got about 30 minutes left in this show. If you want to be part of the show, I'm Mike. This is Ash. We're here talking about that the Nashville explosion and the bizarreness behind that, and that how maybe there's some sort of maybe was that just a bizarro one-off, or is this some kind of weird Russian state, Chinese state action to test our infrastructure, right? Because again, one little RV with a bomb took out hundreds of miles of cell phone coverage, knocked out Walmart's, knocked out James called from New York, and it took out his cell phone hundreds of miles away. There's problems here, right? And again, you can do these things for extremely cheap. So you got to know, and you got to admit, even if this wasn't some sort of like gain of function exercise, like I keep saying, by some state actor, you got to know they're keeping tabs, right? You got to know they're taking notes, even if it wasn't them. So I think these are the terrifying things. This is the world we live in. Somebody out there is always taking notes. But yeah, so if you want to be on the show, Mike Ash, Troubled Minds, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubledminds.org. What do you think? We want to know what you think. This show is a crowdsourced thing. As you know, thank you all the great people who've called in tonight. Thank you, Ash, for hopping on and helping finish the show out. This is why this show is great, right? And I'm just going to go ahead and tuck my ego. Now I'm going to untuck my ego, let's say, and just say this show is fantastic. This show is great because you guys make this show great. Like I said, it could always be me and Ash in the corner, mumbling to each other, and nobody listening. But we add you, and suddenly things start to pop. And as a result of that, open phone lines, transparency, and it's why we do it this way. It's why we'll always do it this way. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Get in here and let us know what you think. All right, so with that said, all that, what do you think? So I had EMP stuff to go into tonight. I got all kinds of shit, right? But we had so many great calls and kind of some other information kind of pop up here that we didn't really get into it. But what do you think? What do you think regarding all this? Do you think it's possible there's some sort of state action happening or something else entirely? Mr. Asheroni.
Yeah, I'll have to wait to see. I'm going to have to wait and see until, what is it, January 6th? And between 2020 was like, when people were like, oh, 2020 was bad. 2020 wasn't really that bad because it was bad because I was worried about all the things that could have happened, I guess. And as far as all the things that could have happened, it wasn't really that bad. And so I'm just worried that, well, is this the finale? Like, are these things going to happen now? All these things we've heard about, everything from the solar flare. Remember that solar, the poles are flipping.
The Carrington event.
Sun is in.
I had that. I had the Carrington event. I had solar flares. I had EMPs. I had all kinds of shit lined up tonight. But yeah, like all that stuff is in play. Exactly. Sorry, go ahead. I got excited when you said that. I'm like, you guys are reading my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep tabs on all these. It's like a board game, like the conspiracy theory board game. You're like keeping track of all the conspiracy theories, and like, oh, point for that one, point for this one, and like you got the vaccine going around, right? And it's like some new freaking vaccine. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna take some new shit that you just like randomly invented for this like potential false flag thing. Like, no. Get the fuck out of here. It's almost like, are you testing us? Like the gullible people just straight up take it, and like the people who are more skeptical get to breed. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Some natural selection. I don't know what's going on, but like I'm so skeptical of everything these days, and I think a lot of people are. I think like it's really encouraging for everyone to call in and to kind of like question all this crap, right? And a lot of like I've said before, a lot of these things can't happen if we're kind of resistant to them. If like the people won't accept it, they won't accept it, right? And I see a lot of people resisting the lockdowns. Some guy like went to his local political building with an axe, just cut down the door and left, like as like a form of protest against the lockdowns. And it's really interesting. It's kind of like, I mean, are we in a video game? Like, are we just playing a game? And it can't be. It doesn't have to. We don't want it to be boring. Like, is this a collective will? We were bored. I don't know. It's pretty nuts. So it's all pretty crazy. And we were saying like all the things that could potentially happen this year, and just like hoping they don't try to just cram them all in at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
The
right.
new Star Wars movies, just
we got
cram it all in.
left. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh shit, we haven't. I'm not going to say it. Robert, what's up? Says I see 2021 being much worse than 2020. I hope I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong too. And I think I have to disagree. I think we're going to turn this around. We have to be positive, guys. We have to be positive. What the hell just happened? I think that was the phone dropped. So if we're not positive, right, then who is? I think that's the thing. So we don't talk about, this is not the doom monger show. This is not the world is ending show. This is not those things. We don't do that here, okay? If you want that, go somewhere else. We're not gonna like the sky is falling, okay? We believe as a show, as a community, why we've always done this. It's important to understand these things so that you can recognize them when they come to you. Because if you don't pay attention, they can sneak in like a thief in the night, as they say. That's my scripture for the night. Mm-hmm. But you never know. Like, you have to pay attention and know what is actually happening here. Because if it's not and you don't, then it just slips by you and you never know. And that's the worst part. That's why that's why we do this. We have to be positive, guys. We have to believe that a better future is possible and within our grasp. Or why are we doing this? Why are we doing this at all? I think that's probably the deal here. Another good one. Kurt says, got a week, bro. Still got a week. Tempting fate.
Knock on wood, guys. Knock on wood.
Knock on some wood. Knock on some wood.
I mean, like, we talk about these stuff because it's interesting, and but I am positive. Like, I'm actually proud of the human race this year. As like a human, like we're coming together. I know we've been like at odds and stuff, but you got to keep in mind the internet shit is new, and social media has been really tries to tear people apart, right? But if this like little community doesn't like, it's like kind of a reflection of what's possible, and I do see it. Like, people are coming together, and they're like, they still got that rebellious spirit. People are smarter these days. They're like they see things more, and you kind of just have to know about stuff before you can deal with it, right? So a lot of stuff's coming out as we have the internet, as data comes out, and I think we had a lot of skeletons in our closet, and it built up over time, and you got to get those out so that you can like in therapy, you got to like talk about that shit so you can like feel better. And I think that's happening. I think that's happening. And I think that, you're seeing a lot of struggle, the Game of Thrones and stuff. But I think generally, like, things are good, man. Things are good. We're like, we're not working in fields anymore. Like, we're not like plowing fields as much. It's like things are good. Like that, the virus has like a 99% plus success rate. Last time we had like a real pandemic, it killed a hell of a lot of people, and there was in the middle of a civil war, and where we were also killing each other, right? And like crossing the Delaware and all this kind of stuff. So I know this stuff. I know it's crazy, and we talk about crazy stuff. But, I think things are good.
Things better be good. Things better be good. Let's go to this real quick. Now, this is hilarious because Facebook is notorious for their real-time redacting. But so somebody sent me this link. I got sent a ton of these links, right? Stuff I didn't hear about maybe how some of this, the Nashville explosion was linked to the election with the Dominion machines, or some a print shop that was printing ballots, or these other things, right? Like there's a bunch of people that send some things. Thank you for all the great links, guys. It's hard to like kind of read this on the fly, but I thought this was interesting. This is from a site called Worthy Politics. All right, now that sounds worthy, does it not? Now, so I linked it, and actually you can see it on Discord or in the any of the other chats except for Facebook. But Facebook redacted this in real time, and so. Right here it says breaking, and of course we talk about this stuff in the abstract, meaning that this source, like all sources, could be bullshit. All right, so please everybody chill. It says this: breaking exclusive. A video proves Nashville explosion was actually a missile strike, and the target was the AT&T/NSA hardened switching facility spy hub. Okay. Read just a little bit of this, and again, like I said, sources, guys, sources. These guys say this. I'm reading it to you, and don't. This is not a. This is not an endorsement. But let me read some of this. Video evidence appeared showing that an incoming missile initiated the explosion in Nashville. The following skyline video embedded below demonstrates quite clearly that an incoming missile trailed immediately before the explosion. All right. We also know that the location, which was blurred out by Google Street Maps, housed the AT&T NSA VoIP router complex, which allows the NSA to spy on all phone conversations and phone texts of anyone using the AT&T network. The Intercept article, The Wiretap Rooms, explains the existence of hidden NSA spy hubs all across America. The ex-owner of the building is allegedly Cerberus Capital, which is tied to Yagubzadeh, which acquired some ownership of Dominion Voting Systems. Okay, so here's the connection. All right, many internet analysts claim the blast appears to have been intended to halt a Dominion voting machines audit that was about to take place in the building as well. All right, so here we go. I hadn't heard this. This is the source for that, and I linked it, except on Facebook because they won't let me link it. So there we go. And again, like I said, the sources, even the mainstream sources, guys, I do not endorse these things. We talk about these sources in the abstract and basically parse them for the truth in this. So don't algorithms out there listening to me. I did not say this is the fact. Okay, algorithms, listen to me. I didn't say this is the fact. Fuck's sakes. All right. So anyway, what do you think about that, Ash? Actually, give me 30 seconds and take the floor, but don't say anything that starts with a Z, and don't say anything that the algorithms will take us down for. Do you accept the challenge?
I accept the challenge.
Okay.
Game over.
Game over. All right. Get them. So talk to that. So I don't know if you saw the link itself. It's on you should see it on Discord if you want to check it out. But so, okay, some sort of missile thing, the Dominion voting bit. I don't know. I'll be right back. Give me 30 seconds.
Well, when the during the three numbered event that happened like 15 years ago or whatever, when the Pentagon got hit by an airplane, supposedly that was hit by a missile as well, and it wasn't actually an airplane. I don't know if that's true, but and I heard that. Oh man, this is actually hard to navigate these things, like what's appropriate to say, what isn't. So I'm just not going to talk about any of that crap. So I don't want to game over Mike's channel. So basically, these things are kind of like, these are extraordinary claims, right? And so they need extraordinary evidence. With the Dominion voting system and all that, it's tough because I've seen things with my own eyes, and but at the end of the day, it's kind of like COVID. Do you really know? You don't know. You just kind of have to read an article or watch a video. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to trust someone's word on it. Trust someone's judgment, trust something. And I think that's kind of the problem. It's really hard to discern things these days, to officially 100% confirm anything, right? Because you weren't there. The world's a big place.
I'm back. Thank you.
Yeah. So. And it's also hard to kind of carve your own bias out, right? And so, scientists have proved that it's not what it is. It's your brain has a story in its head, and so it takes in data, and then that's what you interpret. So there's a layer between you and reality, and it's your imagination or your reality. So your personal reality, right? So it's really hard to discern things. That's why a lot of people these days. They freaking gave up on the CNN. They gave up on the Fox News. They go to personalities to get information. But even those personalities, it's like a full-time job to sift through this stuff, right? And to find out what's true and not. And even those people get it wrong, a lot of times, because it's easy to cover things up these days. And you could see this technocracy. They zip things up, and they're finding ways to kind of get rid of stuff. I mean, they got rid of Alex Jones in one day, and so you guys know they didn't just get rid of they banned him off the platforms, yes, but all his merchant companies where he takes money on, they all got rid of him.
Yeah, Visa, so MasterCard, the Stripe.
Yeah.
And
that's that cashless society we're talking about. It's the threat where they just. They don't do anything to you. They just lock you out, right? So they can lock people out of information. I saw a video of a woman who supposedly she was a poll watcher, and she had some critical information, and some guy tried to whack her, and it was yes, he tried to whack her. That is 100%. But does that have anything to do with the poll thing? I don't know. and there's no way for me to know. And when you have your agencies, they're doing battle with each other, right? And they lie to you. It's like it's tough. It could be really tough to be like, what the fuck is going on? And like I heard a couple people call in and kind of, say the same thing, right? It's frustrating. It's frustrating. God damn it.
It is. Yeah, it is. And that's the world we live in, and that's why this show is a thing. And that's why this show is going to continue to be a thing, because you just can't. There is no truth anymore. Like literally every single piece of truth you can find is refuted by somebody somewhere, right? You get enough money, then that's what happens. So I'm playing this video. I'm just looping it so you guys can see. This is where they claim that the missile, some sort of missile, hit the NSA node that was part of the spyware, some or other. That article I linked that they wouldn't let you link. But I don't know. I do not see it convincing anything regarding a missile coming down. Does anybody see anything in here? So this is supposedly I guess you would call it like an infrared type of situation, or it's I don't know. I can't really tell exactly what how they've high contrasted this, but I just don't see a
actually go back.
It's looping. It's looping.
Go back to the beginning.
It's looping.
I'm on a delay anyway, but I think there's like a little bit of a slight trail before the explosion. I don't know if that's like the explosion and then there's more later where the building's debris is coming, smoke's going up. Let me see.
Yeah. So I'm looping.
I see. Yeah, there's a trail. Yeah, you see. Okay, so you see it, the first pole on the, I guess, right in the middle of the screen. Watch that pole. There's a little bit of as the camera shifts, you can see a vertical trail as if the explosion is coming.
I see it
from up, right?
Yeah.
And the explosion would go straight up and then randomly burst out from the ground. So there is something. Yeah.
Okay.
You see that?
So I'm linking this YouTube video. You guys go and check it out. I don't know. This is from that same article we looked at, but if you see that they're claiming that in the middle, so the middle light pole here, you can kind of see like something come down with a smoke trail, and then the explosion happens. So I don't know. Like I don't even know if we need that. I'm not sure why we'd have the RV and the loudspeaker and all that stuff. I don't know. If this is the case, why don't we just do this? Maybe this is the cover. I have no idea. Where does this come from? This source, I can't tell you.
Nice terrorists.
Yeah, right. They're
so nice. They're trying to kill as few people as possible. They're so sweet.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
That's like sweet terrorists.
There's a missile incoming. If you hear this, you should exit immediately. Yeah. What's up, Madib? Didn't say hi to you earlier. It says it sure looks like a middle or alternative explosive thingy. And is this what you could also maybe claim that this might be a directed energy weapon, like somebody said earlier? I don't know. Like I said, those things to me are a little bit more far-fetched, and I don't quite know. I'm going to go with where the mainstream sources lead, because baby bathwater, there is a baby in there. All right, I'm sure they lie to us. Everybody lies to us. I just think it's important to actually be able to go through some of this and kind of feel it out as it comes, and then take the information as a totality, and then make a decision then. So we are premature on this. I want to make sure that I point that out. None of this is an endorsement of any of these thoughts or ideas or any of that. We're just talking. We're just here talking. That's what we do. Again, this is not the answer show. This is a question show. And so again, if you want to be on the show, I'm Mike. This is Ash. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. We got a few minutes left, 15 minutes or so. So if you want to call and give your take on this Nashville, it starts with an N, Nashville explosion, we want to hear from you. This is weird in many ways, and what it means, I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't think there's answers yet. I think that okay, and not only that, this is important too. This is important. When these things develop and you don't have all the answers yet, you do get reporting that kind of comes out all over the place, right? Like the reporters like spurg out. And so you get some like super deep end conspiracy stuff, and then you get some other stuff, but then eventually, kind of like 9/11, like the information shakes out, right? You start to shake out some of the things that were reported, they disappear, they go away, and then a narrative develops, right? Now that's why it's important to be talking about these things right when they happen, because this becomes a chronicle, right? This becomes a time stamp, where at this moment, when we're talking about this, these were the available facts that were reported, you see? And then so we can go back, let's say a year from now, and listen to this and say, okay, well, hold on a minute, right? Back then they were saying this, even though all those articles or whatever disappeared from the internet. So again, another good reason for doing a show like this live and the whole deal, including you. You want to be a part of it, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubleminds.org. Let's finish this up, Ash. Final thoughts. 10 minutes or so.
Sure. That was a good point. It's like, put a mark in the sand, right? Like tag it. Like what did they all say? What did everyone say? What did the media say? What did the mayor say? What did the FBI officially say? And then we can kind of go back and see like whether they're full of shit or not. What's interesting is like with the Vegas shooting, that was so sketch. That was such a mess. One reason or another, they were covering something up, or no, they didn't have all the facts or something. And we can look back at that and be like, something was wrong about that, right? So I think over the next week, we'll kind of know, right? If things escalate, if more stuff happens, what do you say if, was there? Let's open this can of worms just real quick. Fraud in the election. So what you're not allowed to say is that basically there's widespread stuff, and I'm trying to dance around it because you can't say it. That caused a candidate to lose, right? And so whether that's real or not, like no one could really say, right? But if there were a Dominion vote, if that's true, let's get into that like a little bit. Like if that's true, if those Dominion machines were in there, that's really suspect. It's almost like it's worse to do this, right? If someone's trying to cover it up. And so and this doesn't have to be a left or right thing. This could literally be like China thing, right? China could have just interfered. They had, is that the narrative that's being set up? And is that what's going to happen on January 6th? And maybe we should do a show about that, where we kind of like put on our hats and like kind of play with that idea. And I don't want to alienate anyone in the audience, but you got to admit they're duking it out, like our government's infighting. I mean, Kurt mentioned in the comments about the CIA giving up power, and I can go on a freaking rant about that, where I think that George Bush basically ran the CIA and like basically took over the country and thus the world and ran shit for a while, and that this is them losing power at some point, and that they're infighting. And we're hearing rumors and we're seeing things. Man, what a movie that would be if all this stuff going on. And yeah, it's like we don't really know what's going on, and it doesn't have to do with the election. And I mean, like, yeah, if there was Dominion machines, right, in that building, what would you have to say, Mike? Like, hell, right? Like, is this, and who's doing that? Who's willing to blow up a country, but also like try to kill as little people as possible?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a bomb about to go off.
Yeah, there's some weird shit. It's like too weird.
Nice terrorist.
It's too weird. Like, we're literally like, okay, so this conspiracy has literally like gone so far off the edge, fell off the edge. It's like flipped over and like gone like twisted on 3 axes as it hit the ground in a fiery explosion. Like that's how far off the rails I think we are. Because, like in many cases, I truly believe this, and not to say that because something's out there it means it's not true, but I do think that given like as many details as you can glean from as many different sources as you have the stomach to chase, I do think that many times, okay, not all times, but many times, I think it's probably easy to explain with that, like the Occam's razor, right? Like whatever seems to make the most sense, given like the details, the truthful details you have, probably is the truth, right? And so I don't know, like we have so much going on here that with the Dominion stuff, and I don't know, it just seems like a little bit it's more of the R-anon, right? Like. I get extremely suspicious when every single thing turns into a political lefty-righty thing. My bullshit sensors just like go, like my spidey sense goes insane, right? And so It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm correct. It just means that I'm so jaded by all the assholes that try and spin everything into politics that may not have anything to do with it, that I go, like I freak out. And so I'm kind of right now regarding this and regarding the Dominion thing and that whole bit, I'm freaking out a little bit because it doesn't seem legit. And also another thing, and I agree with this, Kurt says this, sorry, China is not going to strike a building in the middle of America. And yeah, so you know what I mean? There's like a lot of weird stuff going on here that, right, whatever the missile or whatever this or that
but
the
they
other
would,
thing.
They
Sorry,
would
go ahead.
incentivize people. They would incentivize other factions to do it, right? That they would 100% do that.
No, of
They would
course.
100%
Like the proxy war type
incentivize
stuff.
factions to do that. And you say about the left and the right, the left and the right, that's like just one layer, right? That's like one level. You know, there's a lot of different levels and factions. And so to kind of like always break things down into left, right, you know, it's kind of it's a narrow view. So I mean, it's nice to simplify things, but things are kind of more complicated than that, right? You know, it's like left, right. Okay, well, Epstein was blackmailing both sides,
exactly.
You know, on behalf of Mossad. So is Israel the bad guy? You know, like it's, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really complicated, and you're trying to shove it in this kind of like really narrow view. But I mean, I get it. We don't all have time to keep up with everything. And I really try to look, and I just go in circles. I like get to a point, and I'm just like, oh shit, I'm back where I started.
Yeah, right. Funny how that works. And you're like, and they're saying that Orange Man bad. Wow, I started here, I ended here on the same topic. How did we get here?
He is bad. I don't know.
He's totally
the
bad.
Orange Man was bad.
It's totally the Orange Man. The Orange Man was bad. The Orange Man is bad. The Orange Man bad. Yeah, it's again, you know, like making fun of the media. Like it's unbelievable the onslaught, the media onslaught. Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. It's sick. Okay, so anyway.
Oh, they're a tool, right? Like
yeah, of course. Again,
they're literally tools.
Okay, exactly.
Or whoever.
In many, there's a couple different ways there. Okay, but hold on though. Now, just let me make the point. Like I want to. I feel like now this is the worst part, right? Anytime that like the Orange Man comes up, I feel like you have to clarify something. You know what I mean? Because if you don't, like, it's like everybody's like, "Oh, this motherfucker's one of those guys." You know what I mean? But hold on. It's about, to me, the most obvious thing that Donald Trump exposed is that there is a deep state. Okay, there is. Like they stood up against this man. And sure, fine, he's a knucklehead, he's an egomaniac, he's all the terrible things you want to say about him. However, you find out what happens when you get somebody in an office that's not supposed to be there. You see, there are larger implications here that have nothing to do with him, that have many, many greater things to do with everything else after this. That's what I'm saying. So, like, I just want to point it out that, like, when you end up talking about politics in this manner, like, it's called parapolitics because it's I don't give a shit. Take him out, put the next guy in. Who cares? But look, watch what the media does. Let's say Biden gets sworn in on the 20th, like they say he's going to, and all this other stuff, right? Fine, I don't care. I'm not going to get into the rest of this. But watch what the media does. Watch what the deep state does. Everything's going to lay down like the good dog, right? And everything's going to do what they're told because the man at the top is doing what he's told. You see, there's a you know, right, wrong, or indifferent. There's some shit going on here. If you don't notice it, I don't know what you're watching. I just don't know what you're watching. Okay, but anyway, let's finish this up. Let's wrap it back to Nashville and the explosion. You're a betting man now, Ash, whether you are or not betting alien. How many space credits do you bet? And what is your what do you put your space credits on that this Nashville thing is at this point?
Yeah, so if I was going to take some of my tinfoil coins here and try and bet it on stuff, I would say that this is an important election for a couple of different reasons. For the military, right? Who has access and control over the military? I think there is an agenda, a globalist agenda, as Alex Jones would say. I think honestly, Alex Jones ends up being right about a lot of things. It's kind of hilarious how often he's proved to be correct. He was just on Timcast, and it was like one thing after another. So I think there are agendas, there are plans, and that, like you were saying, it was basically business as usual, and now it's not, and people are pissed about it, and things are kind of up in the air. And I honestly think this is part of it. It's got to be. I mean, it doesn't make any other sense. And so, and I want to say, I wasn't trying to insult people who are left and right. And I get that, you know, I get like being on the team, like you believe you're having the right team. That's cool. I would say that like, that's kind of like the surface. It's kind of like, you know, like when you buy a product, it's like, you don't know what all the work to get that there. It came from here, it came all there. Whatever. You just buy the product, right? And that's kind of at the end of the day, that's like you're participating on that faction and on that side. So, you know, you're picking a group and you're participating with it. That's cool. Like, and you know, you don't got time, and sometimes that's the best thing to do, you know. But yeah, I think it's really complicated. I think it's part of the whole ongoing like war that's going on. It's just boiling the surface, guys. It's, you know, we can't nuke each other. We can't invade each other anymore. This is how you do it. You just troll the other person. And what's funny about this is kind of how corporations fight. They sue each other. They discourage each other. They steal deals. I know a guy in a corporation. He's one of the most successful people I know. And he says he like literally follows all the employees at his competitors' work, and he keeps tabs on what they're doing on like Facebook. So like if they leave somewhere, he goes and finds out all the clients he has to try and scalp them. So if my friend is doing this at a corporation, right, on a corporation level, what do you think's going on at the government level?
Hell yeah.
So like I said, a bomb, you know, like a bomb, that ain't shit.
Yeah, that ain't shit.
That's nothing.
That ain't shit. That's the beginning. Exactly. Larger things.
And did you know that there's all these carriers and stuff moving off the coast, and they found all these planes kind of like doing unusual activity. They're basically like transport planes, and there's a shit ton of them going to Vegas. I think that like, you know, I think things are escalating, basically. That's where my money's on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you're going to bet your tinfoil coins, tinfoil space coins are going to be on something's escalating. What it is, we don't know what, but something's happening here.
I think America. I think you can boil it down to America is claiming sovereignty, and a lot of the global entities are like kind of had their fingers in America, and now they're like, well, F you, maybe we'll just go with China. I think that's going on, and you know, like a fiat currency has a life cycle, and ours is coming to an end, and I think it's like hot potato. They're like trying to crash the economy so that they can like pivot into a different kind of currency, and whoever can print the money is becomes the power. China wants to print the money. I'm sure like the UN European faction wants to print the money, or at least like align with their homie that prints the money, right? And so America's been printing the money for a while in conjunction with the Federal Reserve. And yeah, I think that's also in play. I think that's it. So anyway, I'm sorry. I'm like going off on all these like
You're good.
things.
You're good.
But
yeah. Check this out. This is going to make
that's
it
my
up.
money.
Okay.
It's escalating.
Got
Game of Thrones.
Escalation. Alan on YouTube says this, and this is hilarious. Alan says geopolitics is wrestling for old people. And I don't. He's kind of right. He's kind of right.
Yeah.
He's kind of right.
Yeah, it's kind of right.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay. Anyway, so we're done. The good news is this, that we'll be back. We are done, though. So we're going to finish for the night. Here's the thing, right? So everything has changed. We don't do news on this show anymore. If you like conspiracy news and kind of like the short, quick topics that we used to do, we used to put them at the beginning of the show. And it kind of broke everything because we didn't have enough time to talk about the things and include you in the conversation. So we broke it off into 2 shows. We're doing a second show now. Conspiracy News with Michael Strange. You can find it Sunday through Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific on Twitch. If you don't know where to find our Twitch, go to troubledminds.org, the official website. Twitch is right there on top. You can click the Twitch. Go follow us over there. More of the same type of stuff, right? Like this is more of a long conversation regarding like a particular like an idea, right? Sometimes we talk about aliens or ghosts or ghostly processions or whatever, right? Cryptids. We talk about all kinds of whack shit on this show. That's what we do, right? That's what we do. The other one's more of a short, quick talk about the news as it comes, just quick hits. And if you like that, and you like the way we think, and you like the way we talk, and we're not trying to like smash you into a lefty-righty paradigm, we're not trying to label you because you want to think differently. Come hang out over there. Conspiracy News is Michael Strange, and yeah, there we go. Anything you want to plug real quick before we finish, Ash? I'm sure you do. Ash has a sweet YouTube channel. Let me tell you.
Thanks, man. Yeah. It's still pretty new, but we've had some pretty good success so far. A lot of engagement and comments, a lot of arguments on Facebook. Not meant to be that confrontational. I mean, not confrontational. What's the controversial? Sometimes people get like real excited in comments. I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, I have a YouTube channel, Ash the Reptilian from Mars. Check me out. Talk about freaking aliens and just whatever. I try to stay away from too much of the mainstream kind of stuff, trying to go off in left field. So, talk about the pyramids, talking about alien false flags, all kinds of stuff. And I think each episode's getting better and better. I'm learning, getting better at stuff. Definitely we spend some money to kind of, for our production value, to getting a little bit better. I've got some really cool things in the works, a couple of interviews coming up. And now that I'm done moving, hopefully I can produce that content for you. And if you guys reach out or just even chat in Mike's Discord or in the Facebook chat, suggest a topic to me. I love all this stuff. I think it's really interesting, your comments and what you have to say. As a collective, you guys are a hell of a lot smarter than I am. So, and I would love to like get suggestions and feedback and all that kind of stuff. So check it out, Ash the Reptilian from Mars.
Okay,
Bam.
we've Penny linked it. Thank you, Penny. Linked your channel, and I moved it over to Facebook. So everybody now has your link. Everybody has your link. So there you go. All right. So then we've plugged our things. We've done our things. This is the thing. This is about you. You guys know this. Thanks for being here. Like I said, like I always say, without all the enthusiasm and everybody in the great chat and the great calls, it's just us mumbling to ourselves in the corner. So I'm blessed and honored to have Ash here, to have you guys here. And let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I've got a teaser for Tuesday. We have a guest coming on Tuesday.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay.
Now Tuesday, Troubled Minds Radio, 8 p.m. Pacific. We have an individual who's actually gone to school for ufology and is writing a paper to finish their school. What would you call that? What degree is that? Where you got to get your thing? It's got to be peer reviewed and the rest of this shit. I don't know if it's a doctorate or the other. Anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
Anyway, it's a high level, educated individual, and the thesis that this individual's writing is on alien abductions. That's who's going to be on the show Tuesday night. So don't miss that. We're going to get back to our regularly scheduled programming, which happens from time to time, which is aliens. We're going to talk about aliens on Tuesday. So we haven't. We'll get you the details as it happens. We haven't nailed it down, but the guy has agreed to be on the show on Tuesday, and so get ready for that dissertation. There you go. That's what we're looking for. Thanks, Ben. What's up,
my
Ben?
schedule just cleared up. For that day.
You're free Tuesday. You're okay. Well, there you go. So that's who we got coming on Tuesday. We have a guest, and again, these guests are fantastic, guys. And these are the things, right? This is why a show like this is great, in my opinion, because this is our show. You don't have to be Linda Moulton Howe to be here. Thesis, dissertation, those are them. You don't have to be Tom DeLonge, right? Like spouting nonsense about aliens or some truth once in a while. You don't have to be any of these people. Nobody has to know who you are. You can give me a fake freaking name and you can be on this show. Simple as that. And so this individual, you'll see, it hasn't been on any shows, going to be on this show. And we're going to talk alien abductions on Tuesday. So there we go. We're done. We'll catch you then. And let's play some outro music. And you know the outro kind of as well as I do. Why don't we do this? Ash, go, buddy. You're up.
Yeah, sounds really exciting. I'd love to be there. I mean, I'll just come in and just ask a few questions and annoy you guys and bounce. I'm going to ask him about the mantis beans. And speaking of asking about the mantis beans, I paid $100 on the Timcast chat to ask Alex Jones about mantis beings. They got into a freaking argument and they didn't get to it, okay? So I tried, guys. I tried. I know he knows about them. He's got it. So, and I was ready to clip it and everything, man. I was ready to go. But yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for stopping by. This is a conversation we have, right? Or this is our conversation. And you don't hear this kind of conversation in many other places. And that's what makes this place great. This makes what Mike's done here and what you guys contribute great. So keep on keeping on. Keep learning. Keep fighting the man, fighting the media, you know, thinking for yourself. And we'll see you around here on Monday or Tuesday. On Tuesday.
And fuck that lefty righty shit. Don't let them label you. You are you. You're an individual. You get to think for yourself. Party lines are trash. They're brainwashed garbage. And I'm done. There's my soapbox for the evening. All right. You're listening to Troubled Minds. This is Ash the Reptilian from Mars. I'm Michael Strange. We'll be back on Tuesday with a ufology thesis educated individual talking UFO abductions. Holy shit. Don't miss it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. You're the best. Catch you soon. Oh, boy. From our troubled minds to yours. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great night.